response from the last few years and now response to Fridays. They go up against Arizona. We check out the Wildcats batting order brought to you by Capital One. Star power at the top with Summerhill, Walton, and White. But at the bottom of the order, Tommy Splainben has been great in the tourney.
Well, you got to have that complete offense. You know, if you're going to advance and win a College World Series, you need 1 through 9 to be good. And Tommy Splain sitting back there in that 8-hole has been outstanding. And that's the pitcher that Arizona will face right there. Ethan Eberle, just a freshman out of Bloomington, Illinois. 18 appearances on the year, half of which have been starts, half have been bullpen. His curveball is his best pitch for me. I mean, you look at the numbers, Mikey, 197 opponent's batting average on that curveball. But for me, he's got to establish that fastball to both sides of the plate to be able to get to his best pitch, which is that curveball.
So here we go. Check out this weather on a Sunday afternoon in the middle of June. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there watching.
Beautiful. Beautiful day. Wind kind of pushing a little bit right to left. Not straight in like it was yesterday.
Let's play some hardball, as you would say. Brendan Summerhill in the box. Eberle pumps one high, and away we go.
Yeah, not a huge arm for Eberle. Fastball's going to be 88 to 91. He may show you a 92 from time to time, but pretty decent command for him.
He's been great in this postseason, like we said. There's a strike to Summerhill.
And you can kind of see that arm slot. That arm slot is kind of not quite 3/4, maybe a little bit lower than that. So he should be a little bit tougher on the left-handers, especially if he gets that breaking ball going.
Yeah, we talked with Eberle the other day. He said he's really always had this arm slot his whole life. Told us maybe it's lowered a little bit since he arrived into the college game, but it has served him well. And he's facing Summerhill, junior right fielder from Chicago. Honorable mention Big 12 for Brendan Summerhill, and second on the team in OPS. And Eberle has generated a ton of chase here in the postseason. You saw that note, up near 40%, which is way above average.
Yeah, he's really picked it up. I mean, we talked about him. His last 2 starts, and both of them have been, of course, in the NCAA tournament, in a regional and a super regional, only allowed the 2 earned runs. So the stuff has actually gotten better.
He was excellent in the regional final against Wright State, 6 1/3 shutout, and then pitched Game 3 of the Super Regional against Miami last weekend. That was 6 innings, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts, no walks, and really just 1 mistake early on when Eberle gave up a 2-run shot.
Yeah, thing to keep an eye on, can these 2 freshmen slow their heartbeats down here in the first inning? I think if they can navigate that first inning, even if they have traffic and throw a lot of pitches, you throw a 0 up, man, you could be off and rolling then.
6th pitch to Summerhill, strikes him out. There's that curveball you were talking about, and it's a K with the breaking ball for Ethan Eberle to begin.
Yeah, and you know what made that pitch work for him? The pitch before that was a good fastball, kind of up and in. He sped the bat up by Summerhill, and then he comes right behind it with a really good breaking ball. That is some outstanding sequencing and a really good curveball.
So a strikeout for Eberle to begin the afternoon, and now he gets the 2-hitter for Arizona, the center fielder, Aaron Walton. Tennessee native and a transfer from Samford. Also honorable mention Big 12, and this guy made some outstanding catches in the Super Regional in Chapel Hill, North Carolina last weekend, as Arizona came back from dropping the first game there in blowout fashion, then won the next 2 to beat the Tar Heels, who were a really trendy pick, number 5 overall seed to get here. So Arizona's got some experience with dropping a game in the NCAA tournament and then bouncing back. And so Chip Hill's comfortable in this spot. That's kind of the way it's gone this year for the Wildcats. What a job he's done in year 4 at his alma mater.
Oh, I love talking to him. I love talking to Chip Hill.
What do you like most about your conversation?
It's kind of an old school with him, you know, a little bit older school, and why wouldn't it be? I mean, you're talking about a guy that's got so much experience, and as a player, man, how could you not want to play for a guy like that? I mean, 7 years as a big league player himself, 13 years in the major leagues as an assistant coach, and of course managed for 2 years as well.
A couple years with the Diamondbacks. This one comes inside and hits Aaron Walton. So Arizona's got a 1-out base runner here in the top of the first. It's a loose group. You saw they got those bananas out. They've got their toy of the game, and now they got a base runner as well.
Yeah, and Arizona's had a pretty good offense this year. They're averaging a little over 7 runs per game in the NCAA tournament.
'24th time that Aaron Walton's been hit. And he gets aboard for Mason White on a hot diamond at Charles Schwab Field. All right, so the Tucson, Arizona native, local kid trying to continue his college career. He revealed a bunt bid for the team leader in OPS. 20 home runs now this season, second team Big 12. A draft prospect for the next level, so he's hoping this isn't it.
Well, he's put up some big numbers. 20 home runs. He hit a home run here at the College World Series in Game 1.
Ball up.
Mason White, of course, third generation Wildcat. They all played, including Dad Ben, watching intently on this one. And Mason was under-recruited, he was telling us the other day. Didn't have a whole lot of options. Chip Hale came to see him, offered him a spot, and, well, Mason committed pretty much right away. And then Grandpa's here as well, watching this one. You got catching and pitching lineage between Ben and Tim, and then a shortstop into Mason White.
That's kind of covering it all right there.
Strong up the middle.
Yeah.
Ethan Eberle's 2-0.
Well, I tell you what, Arizona, man, they hadn't hit a whole lot of home runs this year. 77 on the year, but in the postseason, 7 postseason games, they have hit 18 home runs. Hit a lot of doubles. They lead the nation in triples.
It's kind of what Chip Hale said to us this morning. He said, we've just found ways to win offensively because it hasn't been crushing numbers. That is a buckling curveball at 75 for a strike.
Yeah, and with that low arm slot that Eberle has, it almost feels like if you're batting left-handed, the ball's starting either at you or behind you. And that's the one you kind of give up on because you see it well inside. He just kind of snuck it back over the inside part. Now can he finish?
With Walton aboard. Outside.
And the Wildcats don't steal a lot of bases either. I mean, you look at them on the year, only 49 stolen bases. So they do it with the extra base hits. Timely hitting.
Another check on Walton. And so with the offense, they have found enough ways to get it done. At 44 wins this season. 18-12 in the Big 12. Preseason number 21 in the country. They were picked second in the Big 12 preseason coaches poll. Won the Big 12 tournament. And we're rolling headed to Supers. Had won 8 in a row. Now a 3-2 to Mason White. Pops it up foul. Arizona was a regional 2 seed in Eugene, Oregon. And then Supers in Chapel Hill and bananas in tow throughout. We saw the headgear bananas there in the dugout. We got to get you one of those. See how it goes with the high and tight, maybe?
There can't be any bananas left in Omaha. Arizona has purchased every one of them.
Another 3-2. This one hits White. So the true freshman Ethan Eberle has issued a couple of free passes here. And the White family watching this one. We told you 3 generations, and Mason White hoping to continue his college career. And how cool is this? All of them on the diamond last year. Ben was a pitcher. Grandfather Tim, a catcher in the 60s. And like we said, Mason holding down short.
Man, that is so cool, huh?
And so we got a couple of base runners for the Wildcats, with fans still filing in to Charles Schwab Field. All right, so traffic for Ethan Eberle. He's got a deal now with the cleanup man Adonis Guzman from Valley Cottage, New York. Honorable mention Big 12, second year at Arizona after he started his career for 1 season at Boston College. He's taking a big step forward with the bat this year. And you saw him look pretty good against Coastal Carolina on Friday.
Yeah. No, these guys can swing it a little bit. And hitting with runners in score position is going to be key, not just for Arizona, but for every team in the College World Series. Arizona 3 for 13 against Coastal with runners in score position. They had a lot of opportunities, came through 3 of those 13 times.
A rope into left field, base hit, Adonis Guzman. Aaron Walton gets waved around. Zion Rose's throw is cut. The Wildcats have the lead. Mason White is hung up between second and third. They run at him, tag him, and then nobody covering first to get Guzman. But the Wildcats have the lead in this elimination game in the first.
Well, Guzman kind of got the count in his favor right there, and he got a ball right over the heart of the plate. And I mean catching the barrel, too. Straight out to left field, just a line drive off the bat. A little top spin on that one. Now to second base, you can see Walton. He got an outstanding jump. He was going to score easily. But the runner right behind him, Mason White, kind of got hung up in between second and third, really in no man's land, and then the rundown begins at that point. And they would finally collect the out with Louisville.
And so after 3 hits on Friday for Adonis Guzman, he's got a dozen now in the NCAA tournament. And that was loud. It came off his bat at 105 miles an hour. Now to the 5 spot. And the junior third baseman, Maddox Mikalakis, who ropes one into right field, a base hit. Guzman goes first to third. Back-to-back singles and 4 straight base runners for the Wildcats.
Boy, Mikalakis looked like he was sitting on first pitch breaking ball, and he got one. Another line drive, so back-to-back bullets by Arizona. Watch this swing right here. Breaking ball just kind of sitting up. It never got to the outside part of the plate where Eberle wanted it. And you talk about on time by Mikalakis right there. A bullet right by the first baseman, Davis. So first and third, 1 run in, 2 out.
Well, now you start thinking about that base running out from Mason White as well. Would be 2-0. Instead, just 1 zip, but 2 aboard for Arizona. Ethan Eberle's got his 2 outs here. He's got to deal with the 6th man, the second baseman, the 6th-year senior Garen Caulfield from Sacramento.
Timeout.
Now the home plate umpire, Clint Fagan, calls time. What's this discussion about here, Ben?
I have no idea. Something about the ball, it looks like.
Did he go to the mouth or something like that? And then
I didn't see him go to the mouth.
Maybe we just want some memorabilia?
Because the ball went right back in his bag, too. I thought for a second maybe it could have had a scuff on it or something.
Yeah, so went to the mouth.
Went to the mouth, but he wiped right at the end. And normally if you can go to the mouth and wipe, it's okay. But I don't know if home plate umpire Clint Fagan saw him go and wipe it off, because he wiped it off on his left leg.
How often would you go to the mouth on a hot day?
On a hot day where you have moisture on your hand, not very often, because you're looking for that moisture to be able to hold the ball. You want a little bit of sticky substance. If you use the rosin bag, a little bit of moisture. So not too much on a day like today, because normally you got some sweat up at the top if you want to go and kind of get a little bit of a better grip. But for a lot of pitchers, it's a habit. You know, a lot of pitchers just throw, and no matter what the conditions are, they're going to lick anyway. And of course, you can lick without wiping it off as long as you're not on the rubber itself. But if you're going to be near the rubber, if you're going to lick, you're supposed to wipe it off.
On this big stage in Omaha. 1-1 to Caulfield. Poked in the air, foul, and it's 1-2. So through all of this, nearly 25 pitches in the top of the first, Ethan Eberle, freshman, is 1 strike away from getting out of this with just a run.
Yeah, I think, we're going to have some runs put on the scoreboard today. The idea for these pitchers early in this ball game is to bend a little bit but not break. Stay away from the crooked numbers, and Eberle's just 1 out away from getting out of it.
Meantime, Smith Bailey's been waiting a little while here.
He is ready to go, but look, as long as your team's putting up runs on the scoreboard, you'll sit there as long as you need to.
1-2 pitch. Caulfield chops it into right field, a base hit. Guzman scores, and it is 2-0 Wildcats.
Boy, and the Wildcats have done this a bunch in the NCAA tournament. How do you hit with 2 strikes? And I love that approach by Caulfield right there. Not trying to do too much with 2 strikes. Ball is borderline even being a strike. 2-seam fastball working away from him. Hands go first. The barrel behind him just punches it to the right side. And plates yet another one for Arizona here in the top of the first.
So with 2 strikes and 2 outs, Garen Caulfield comes through. and puts up a couple of runs now for Arizona on Louisville and the freshman here in the top of the first.
Boy, and you're right. If it wasn't for a base running error by Mason White right there, it'd be 3-0 right now.
And so we get a mound visit from the esteemed pitching coach Roger Williams in his 19th season, and a bunch of legs headed out to the bullpen. And that one's really interesting right there. Tucker Bivin, junior right-hander, who was on the USA Collegiate National Team over the summer. There was a lot of thought that he might start this game, but he didn't. And now, of course, Monday morning quarterbacking this one, but a couple of runs against the true freshman.
Yeah, and look, Eberle had been really good. We talked about that. His 2 starts in the NCAA tournament, he'd only allowed 2 runs. And so I understand going with him, but Bivin is another guy that you could certainly lean on that obviously has been a starter, has had a lot of success as well, and he may be the first guy that you see.
We asked Dan McDonald about it this morning. He said to us, Ethan Eberle's been our Sunday guy all year. He thought it was a good matchup for Eberle to go against Arizona. And again, he had been pitching so well in those first couple of NCAA tournament starts. Still 2 aboard, and out of the 7th spot in the DH, Andrew Kane, who fists one at Kamayu Neighbors, and the inning's over.
He's out.
Great start for Arizona. Look at Smith Bailey. He's like, can I get on the mound fast enough? Freshman's ready to go in this elimination game at Omaha. This one for the right to stay alive and get to Tuesday. Winner of this one faces whoever loses between Coastal and Oregon State tonight. As we check out the Louisville batting order, brought to you by Capital One. And Eddie King Jr. is a senior. He got serenaded last week in Supers in Louisville, trying to continue his career. And Smith Bailey had a reservation on the mound. He almost met Ethan Eberle out there.
That dude was skipping out there, and why not? Nothing better than taking the bump for the first time, and you already have a 2-0 lead. And there is Smith Bailey, 6'4", 195-pounder out of Peoria, Arizona. That's what he's done. He's been in that rotation the entire year, his true freshman year. 17 starts. The whip is really good. Strikeout to walk ratio better than 2-1. And boy, stay hot for him. His last 4 starts, a 1.93 ERA. Slider's the best pitch for him. But for him, he's going to have to use his fastball on the inside part of the plate enough to speed the bats up of Louisville to be able to get to his best pitch, which is that slider.
Arizona got a couple in the top of the first, and now Louisville with its backs against the wall. Whole different looking lineup you just saw for Dan McDonald, including this guy, Alex Alicea, the sophomore shortstop from Milwaukee. Up from the 8th spot, his first time hitting leadoff since the end of April. First pitch swinging to left at Easton Breifogel for the first out for Smith Bailey.
Yeah, and you may be saying that a lot about Louisville, first pitch swinging, because in the NCAA tournament, their first pitch swing rate, 40%. The D1 average on the year swinging at the first pitch, only 30%. So Louisville's been a very aggressive team. And of course, Smith Bailey is a guy that does throw a lot of strikes.
Part of the thinking for Dan McDonald with the lineup changes was the aggressiveness you're talking about. There's a ton of it from this guy, Lucas Moore, sophomore center fielder. So they wanted to put Alicea in front of him. And sure enough, it was first pitch swinging for Alicea and a take from Moore.
Yeah, and I think the other piece of that is Dan McDonald's trying to shake that lineup a little bit. It's a lineup that's only averaged a little over 5 runs per game in the NCAA tournament. So the offense hasn't been great for Louisville since regionals began. And maybe just a little bit shake up sometimes, moving some guys around the lineup can produce a few more runs than what they typically have been getting.
Dan McDonald was looking at the box score after the game on Friday, that 4-3 loss to Oregon State, and he just said, my gosh, 14 strikeouts. It was a season high for him against Dax Whitney and Oregon State.
Dax Whitney, man, that's a different kind of stuff right there.
Exactly.
That was some big time stuff. I was sitting in the hotel room watching that going, oh my gosh.
You combine that with the shadows, and you don't want to be a hitter.
No, that could make for a bad day in a hurry.
Those shadows were gnarly on Friday night at the outset.
Yeah, because, I mean, hitters will tell you, hitters hit off a spin. They see spin, and that's how they know what pitch is coming. It happens in an instant. But when the ball's coming out of the shade and you're in the sunlight or vice versa, man, it's really tough to pick up spin.
Fouled away by Moore.
Those are the days you want to be pitching.
We'll take blue skies. You good with that?
Blue skies are good. No excuses today.
86 degrees, and yes, mostly sunny on this Father's Day. So 2-2 on Moore, who was first team All-ACC. Smart hats. We got good sunglasses out here, and we're hydrating. Cincinnati native has 51 stolen bases this year. But he strikes out looking. Backdoor breaking ball. Smith Bailey, how do you do?
Well, we talked about the breaking ball for Smith Bailey and it being his very best pitch. 76 strikeouts on the year in 83, and man, you can't throw one any better than that. That ball started so far off the outside corner. You're standing in the box, you give up on that, and boy, he leaked it right back over the outside edge. First strikeout of the day for the freshman Smith Bailey.
He's got all kinds of poise, Chip Hale was telling us this morning. And now faces Matt Klein, the junior catcher and a Louisville native. Went to Trinity High School and now plays for the Cardinals, much like his father did as well. Third on this team with that OPS at 980. Missed about 2 months with a broken bone near his wrist on his glove hand. And boy, they missed Matt Klein when he was out.
Good to see him back in there doing his thing. And I tell you what, Smith Bailey's got some history against Louisville. His very first start of the year, way back in mid-February, was against Louisville. And he performed well. 4 innings of work, only allowed 3 hits, didn't allow a run, struck out 5 in 53 innings of work, or 53 pitches, I should say.
And not bad right there for a collegiate debut with a ton of strikes. Now in Omaha. Gets a weak fly ball in the air to left at Easton Breifogel. And Smith Bailey was so excited to get to the mound, and we can see why. 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first in this elimination game at the Men's College World Series. And what's the story with these bananas? For that, we are so thankful we have Danny Wexelman.
Yeah, this is a good one, Mike. So this goes back to 2024, and Arizona was riding a 9-game win streak. It's mid-April, and they're losing 5-0 into the 9th inning against Louisiana Tech. They scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th. They come back to win, and they build this banana tower. They have banana necklaces, and it all comes from their senior righty, Clark Candiati. He started it all, guys, and the bananas have continued into this year.
That's awesome.
So good.
And it's perfect, too, on a hot day. Get a little potassium in your system, keep from cramping a little bit, eat a few bananas.
Would you rather have a banana or pickle juice to prevent cramping?
I like pickle juice.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty salty, I would say.
Very salty, but that's the idea of it.
Clark Candiati, who is a great part of that weekend rotation that was so sturdy last year for Arizona.
Ball down.
Well, they're up 2-0 here. Top 2, 8-9-1 starts with Tommy Splain against Ethan Eberle. Who had to throw 25 pitches in the first. I mean, that's a shirt. That is a shirt. Good breaking ball. So Eberle trying to settle in against Splain, 6'5" from Los Gatos, California. 4 years with a bunch of experience. This year has been the best season of his career with the bat. He's matched a career high in home runs and has a career high in OPS. On the ground, sharply foul down the third base line. We talk about the good vibes with this Arizona team and getting here. I thought it was really interesting what Chip Hale said to us this morning. He said, we opened up the fall, we brought everyone in. We felt like we had a team that could get here. He said, we felt like this was our year 4 for him and his staff in this program to get back to the Men's College World Series.
Yeah, they got a lot of momentum late. I mean, they went to the Big 12 conference tournament. They go 3-0 there. They only allow 3 runs in those 3 games, and of course blew through the Eugene Regional, going 3-0. And as you mentioned earlier, lost game 1 over in Chapel Hill against North Carolina, big, but then would come back and win back-to-back games to get here to Omaha.
You're not kidding. 18-2 in the first game of that Super Regional. That is big in a tough way. You see that note there at the bottom. And so bouncing back is not foreign for Chip Hale and his team.
Yeah, I mean, look, as a baseball player, you can't have any scar tissue, right? You got to be able to flush what happened the previous day, push it behind you, lace them back up the next day, and go. And boy, Arizona poured it on over at Chapel Hill.
This one fouled off. Yes, that's what Mason White said after the loss to Coastal Carolina on Friday. He said, this is a familiar feeling being here, as he said, at the bottom. He said, in a tough spot. Our whole season, he said, it's been that way.
Well, it's nice to be able to look back in the not-so-distant past and say, hey, we've been here before. Look how we performed in the Super Regional. We lost and got smoked 18-2 by North Carolina, but then we found a way to win the next 2, and I think that's the idea.
And they've been so good late in games. They were 39-0 when leading or tied after 7 before Friday. That was a game they went down 2-0 in the second. They tied it in the fourth, and then that game was 4-4. I mean, you called it, into the bottom of the eighth.
A really close game all the way to the very end. And they had their chances, Arizona did.
This is pulled into left. Zion Rose can't get there. And Tommy Splain dumps one in and has a leadoff single for Arizona to begin the second.
Well, sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, it is where you hit it. And Tommy Splain got this ball right off the end of the bat. And Rose out in left field. Look at there, just right off the end of the bat. But you saw how he kind of stuck his nose on it and leaned out there to be able to get it. Rose coming hard out of left field, but ball just dumped right in front of him. And a good start for Arizona here in the second.
What Chip Hill said to us this morning about Tommy Splain, he just finds a way to get hits. And just dumps in that off-speed pitch into left.
And it is so nice to have a guy back there in the 8-hole be as productive as he is.
He saw his 13th hit in the NCAA tournament. And so he's on for the 9-man, the left fielder Easton Breifogel, sophomore from Edina, Minnesota. This guy's super talented, Chip Hill was saying to us this morning, but he's dealt with a lot of injuries in his couple of seasons. But Breifogel's healthy now, and Chip Hill said if he barrels a ball, this thing is going to go. And speaking of health, it is good to see Breifogel has been able to play here in Omaha, because he was involved in that kind of scary situation, Game 3 of the Super Regional, that Sunday in Chapel Hill, top of the 8th inning. Dropped down a bunt and got in a collision with the Carolina infielder who was covering the bag. And it was concussion-like symptoms. And so if your team's going to Omaha, you want to get healthy in a hurry.
All your pieces available. And I love this offense for Arizona. If you look at him, I mean, they go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And so it's hard to grab the platoon advantage against them. You can't bring in a matchup lefty or a matchup righty, because it is back and forth left versus right.
Ethan Everly's 2-2. Is that something as a pitcher, Ben, when you would look at a lineup and you would look left, right, that I know you're a starter, you're thinking about a reliever here in that point.
Yeah.
But is that something you would think about?
A little bit. I mean, it was different for me because for whatever reason, 8 out of 9 years in the big leagues, I got lefties out there and I did righties. And so sometimes, as crazy as it sounds, I would pitch around a righty in a big moment to get to a lefty because I had so much success against left-handed hitting. But it's definitely something you look at.
On the ground towards second. Come on, you neighbors, with the flip to Alicea for 2. Nifty glove work on the 4.63.
I tell you, we got some teams here in Omaha that are playing some defense, and the fielding percentage shows it too. All of these teams here in Omaha are really good. And watch neighbors right to the backhand side, a nice easy flip to the shortstop, Alicea, who finished it off on the back end. Little 4.63 double play, and a nice stretch on the back end by Davis.
Come on, your neighbors, who had a couple of near misses for fabulous plays Friday against Oregon State, turns that. And now the base is wiped clean for Ethan Everly as we go back to the top of the Arizona lineup for Brendan Summerhill. Top 30 prospect according to Kylie McDaniel, a guy who was a preseason first-team All-American according to Baseball America, but has dealt with injury this year. Busted up his right hand, he was telling us the other day, because of all ways to get an injury, he punched a cooler.
Oh, that'll do it.
He was at West Virginia. He was so frustrated, and you see the padding for Summerhill. Told us he'd been sitting cutter all day. His third at bat, he finally got one right down the middle. He knew the exit velo. He hit it back 58 miles an hour, and so he was ticked, and he took it out on a cooler. But unfortunately, he ended up injured. Good to see him healthy now. This one filleted in foul ground in the shift. Long way to go for Alex Alicea. He almost got there. He had to cover some ground.
Yeah, look where he's positioned. Right there. And he takes a little bounce that way, so he's kind of moving that way, and all he's got, but couldn't quite get to it.
And then he almost went Jeter over the railing. Ethan Eberle's 0-2 is up high with no chase from Summerhill.
Eberle has that 2 and a 4-seam fastball. Every now and then he'll change the eye level with that 4-seam. He'll go up, and he wants to go up occasionally because it sets up that breaking ball of his.
Let's see if it's that here. This one line toward left. Rose got a good jump and makes the diving catch. Zion Rose, go and get it in left field for the Cards.
Well, it's a glove show for Louisville here early, folks. That is an outstanding effort right there by Rose. Ball slicing away from him, but watch the jump. He gets an outstanding jump and lays out and picks it right up off the grass to get Louisville off the field. Arizona up early in this one, 2-0.
Well, dancing in the outfield in Omaha. Charles Schwab Field Men's College World Series. We hope to bring you Dan McDonald. We showed you that going to break, working on some microphone issues down in the dugout. Well, let's get you some headlines from the first few days at the Men's College World Series with a great 8-team field. Coastal Carolina has won 24 games in a row. And then on Friday night, Oregon State walked it off with Gavin Turley against these Cards. And then last night, Ben, it felt like a national championship stage for Cade Anderson.
The crowd was unbelievable. Cade Anderson, his stock continues to climb. A guy that was projected mid-second round when the season began. Some projections have him #1 overall, and he just shut down one of the best offenses in all of college baseball. And the Arkansas Razorbacks only allowed 1 run his 7 innings of work.
You saw how important it is if you want to win the national championship to start not just with 1 win but with 2. And can we talk about this guy's speed here?
That's
look
pretty
at the
good
effort.
right there. Nice form too.
Really good form. That's like Masataka Yoshida form right there. Yeah, Cade Anderson was really good. And man, think about how high he could go in the draft. It's interesting.
When you talk about pitchers that project out to be starting pitchers at the MLB level, to me, there's not many guys out there right now, and he's one of the few. I think Witherspoon over at Oklahoma projects out at the big league level as a starter. Now, this year's draft, you talk to some GMs and some scouts, it's a little bit weaker draft when you talk about talent, one of the weakest we've had in a while. Next year's supposed to be one of the strongest we've had in a while, but Cade Anderson has shut up the draft board simply because he's one of the few out there that project as a starter at the big league level.
We got Aaron Walton here, leading off for Arizona in the 3rd. Got hit by a pitch and scored back in the 1st. And Jay Johnson thinks that Cade Anderson is probably going to be, he thinks, the fastest one to the big leagues among starters from college.
Well, he's a strike thrower, one, and he's got a real starter's mix.
Pulled foul.
And when you look at projections, you want to see growth in a guy from year to year. You got to remember, Cade Anderson's only a sophomore. He's a draftable sophomore, so only his 2nd year playing collegiate ball. Now represented by Scott Boras, and so the #1 pick this year is not really set. It could be, Ethan Holiday's in the mix. Talk about a little bit about Cade Anderson as well, but it almost feels like the Nats have the first pick, and whoever might take a haircut on the draft could be the first pick in the draft. Not like in years past, we've had some real can't-miss #1. This guy was going to be #1. This year, it feels like it could be 4 or 5 different guys that go 1-1 overall.
And we got first-round talent, not just with Cade Anderson, but a bunch of guys in this 8-team field here in Omaha. Ethan Eberle works the count full against Aaron Walton. And so that was a win over Arkansas for LSU. Arkansas's got so much talent, maybe the most talented pitching staff in the country.
Yeah, if there's a team that could lose game 1 and find themselves in the final, it would be Arkansas because of the depth. I mean, they got good starters, and they got some really big time. It's almost like a big league bullpen coming at you at the back end of that bullpen. They can really got some guys that can do it. That's a really nice fastball.
That freezes Aaron Walton, who thought it was ball 4, and there is one away for Ethan Eberle. All right, so if you missed it, this was Cade Anderson.
Yeah, the new pitch for him this year is that slider right there. He's always had fastball, curveball, changeup. He developed a slider, and it's his best pitch. There it is right there. It's his most used secondary pitch. It's elite command. Boy, Mom was fired up. Cade Anderson was fired up as well, and I tell you what, there was a lot of hope in Baton Rouge that Cade Anderson would come back for his 3rd year. I got news for the folks down the bayou. He ain't coming back.
To everyone in Red Stick, is that right?
Everybody down in Red Stick, you're not going to see Cade Anderson again in an LSU uniform after the College World Series. He will move on to pro ball.
That's the beauty of this event. Like, you can go so fast now from here, Men's College World Series, to the major leagues.
Yeah, I think so much has changed. I think there's a time now where organizations at the MLB level, they wanted you to kind of have success at every level, go through A-ball, AA, AAA, so on. But now, where the college game is, more talent in the college game, what they're being taught now at the college game, you're seeing a lot of guys being able to elevate and get quickly to the big leagues now. And don't forget about Chase Shores, a reliever for LSU, came in last night. I mean, you saw it.
Sheesh.
I mean, it's a hundy every pitch, and it's 6'8", you know, and he's coming at you. And he's a guy that's going to be fool some guys, I think. It's his draftable year. He didn't pitch much at LSU. Got hurt his freshman year, only 18 2/3. So this year, in a lot of ways, was his freshman year from the experience standpoint. And I'll tell you what, all of a sudden, Ethan Eberle is really starting to settle in. A little bit of a tough first inning for him. A couple of hit-by pitches, 3 singles in a row, netted 2 runs. Faced the minimum in the 2nd inning, and how about this? Back-to-back strikeouts, and that's a good breaking ball. Like you always say, spin them if you got them. And I'll tell you what, Eberle, he can spin that breaking ball.
I always say it, or you always say it?
You always say it to me. I probably say it the most.
3 Ks, including back-to-back for Ethan Eberle, spinning that curveball. Now the cleanup man, the catcher for Arizona, Adonis Guzman. Guzman, an RBI single, his first time to the pull side at 105 off his bat. Getting another look at Eberle.
What we haven't seen from Eberle a lot so far today, it's been pretty much fastball, breaking ball. We've not seen a whole lot of changeups yet.
Up cam shows you a nasty swing and miss on the breaking ball. Yeah, still no change. Eberle leaning on that curveball. He was telling us the other day, I call it a curveball. It said it moves maybe a little bit more like a slider.
Yeah.
But that's his pitch.
Yeah, the profile isn't a true curveball, kind of 12 to 6. It's almost like a sweeping type breaking ball, almost like a slurve, if you will. But from his arm slot, Mikey, for a guy that's way down low, it's hard for him to really get on top and have a true shape of a traditional type curveball. That's a pretty good day right there.
I'm surprised it hasn't melted more.
About to eat it fast today, but not too fast.
Don't want a brain freeze. Eberle's 1-2.
Ball off.
Just down, and Eberle wanted it.
Yeah, he was hopping off the mound, headed back to that third base dugout. A little backdoor breaking ball, didn't get the call. It looked like to me this ball came back. I tell you what, if I'm on the bump, I want that one right there. That's a well-executed backdoor breaking ball. Didn't get the call.
We're now trying to settle in with a 2-2 to the veteran catcher. Pulled. Well struck by Guzman. Rose is back, and it is gone. Guzman goes deep and adds to the Arizona lead.
Boy, how big was that call now that wasn't made at home plate by the home plate umpire, Clint Fagan. Didn't get the call on the breaking ball, comes back with a fastball. You talk about on time right there. Guzman, 105 off the bat, right at 400 feet. And on one swing, the Wildcats tack on another one.
You're not kidding. Dan McDonald just staring out after a borderline pitch. And Adonis Guzman with new life delivers for Arizona.
Ninth home run of the year for Guzman, his 44th RBI. And we talked about Arizona coming in. Home run production has really gone up in the postseason. Make it 19 home runs in 8 postseason games now.
And a big part of that, Guzman's tournament numbers you just saw. 0-1 on Maddox Mikalakis. Ropes one foul. I mean, Guzman 2 years ago at Boston College, he played some in a reserve role for the Eagles and Mike Gambino. Then last year at Arizona, his OPS was just .708, only 1 home run. So it was like 1 home run in about 250 plate appearances to begin his career. And now, you just said it, that's his 9th this season.
Yeah.
A strikeout from Ethan Eberle ends the inning, but Adonis Guzman goes bridge, and the lead's back to 2.
Have yourself a day, kid, huh? RBI single in the first. He backs that up with a long one here. You talk about lean on one, and he leaned on that one, folks. Well out of the ballpark. His 9th long ball of the year, his 44th RBI, and the Wildcats up 3-1 on Louisville.
A home run from Adonis Guzman was impressive in its own right, Ben McDonald, but I think even more impressive was the young buck with the hat making the catch on the fly. Check this out, blue cap.
Mikey, that's what we call a hat trick right there in a little bit different way. How about that? Reel it in with your ball cap.
Go and get it, kid. Who we got on that hat? Thought it might be UCLA for a moment.
It looked
not.
like BB must be a travel ball team, I'm guessing.
Pretty good color scheme, I'll say that. And what a play. That might end up on SportsCenter top 10. All right, so it's 3-1 after that home run and that souvenir. We already got the ball in the bag, it looks like.
Make sure it doesn't get away from him.
9-1-2 for Louisville starts with the 6th-year senior Kamayu Neighbors. 25-year-old who transferred from Cal State Northridge.
Yeah, guys, I just had a chance to talk to Dan McDonnell about what he's seen so far from Smith Bailey on the mound with his guys, and he said he's tough. He's got that 4-pitch mix, and our guys are kind of between pitches right now. They have to be better and tougher with 2 strikes, Mike.
Good stuff. Is that what you're seeing, Ben? Like kind of between pitches against him?
Yeah, I mean, you can get in between. In other words, you're a little bit late on the fastball and kind of out in front of the off-speed stuff. And the 4-pitch mix is tough. I mean, when you talk about Smith Bailey, it's a 2 and a 4-seam fastball, but he'll show you a slider and a changeup and a curveball as well. And to me, to the left-handers, he's kind of using his 2-seam fastball down and away. To the right-handers, he's using that 4-seamer when he goes to the outside part of the plate. But he's a tough customer, and we talk about how good he has been lately. And what's impressive for me about him is typically in your true freshman year, you're not used to throwing as many pitches and as many innings. He came in with 83 innings of work, and we talked about this in the open. His last 4 starts, it's a sub-2 ERA, so he's actually gotten stronger as of late.
Kamayu Neighbors smokes a single into center. And a leadoff man aboard for Louisville. Well, we're here for the Men's College World Series in Omaha, and action continues all week with the championship series starting Saturday. For more info, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. So a single for Kamayu Neighbors, a leader on this team, and now the lineup turns over for Louisville and Alex Alicea against the very highly regarded freshman Smith Bailey. Alicea is playing with a jammed up thumb. Told you, sophomore from Milwaukee, who Dan McDonnell moved up to the leadoff spot today. Dan McDonnell was telling us the other day, he thinks if Alex Alicea can stay healthy next year, he thinks Alicea's got a chance to lead the conference in hits.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Can handle the bat.
Safe.
Yeah, normally a switch hitter. You were talking about that before the game, and obviously only hitting left-handed because of an injury. And if you're Arizona, there is a pocket in there later in this ball game for a left-handed reliever, because if you look, they got a couple of lefties in a row. They got 3 in a row at the top. That's a pretty good pocket if you got a lefty specialist down there if you're Arizona later in the ball game.
Yeah, it's interesting because there are a lot of good righties on the Arizona staff, so you wonder if there is a way to get a lefty in against this pocket. Alicea pulls back, hits it at Mason White, flips, Caulfield turns, not in time. Alicea runs well and stays out at 2.
Boy, did he ever get out of the box and get down the line, too. 30 stolen bases on the year for Alicea. He wasn't about to get double up on this one right here. Ball wasn't hit extremely hard, but hard enough to turn too, but not with the speed of Alicea. Just beats it out.
And so some speed aboard. 1 on, 1 out. 30 bags for Alicea. And the batter's Lucas Moore, who's got, again, 51 stolen bases this season. Part of the, 155?
Yeah. 7th most in the entire country when you talk about stolen bases for Louisville. It is a huge part of their game. They do have some homers now, 83 home runs on the year.
And Lucas Moore, the batter here, he's got 5 to go along with those nation-leading 51 steals. Dan McDonald spends so much time watching opposing pitchers himself just to figure out what their moves are like on the mound. He watches every starter, every reliever, every starter on an opposing team gets his own sheet. So he'll put notes for his base runners, and a starter gets a full piece of paper, and then all the relievers are on one sheet in the Louisville Scout.
Yeah, and as a pitcher, when you face a team like Louisville that really likes to run, the key to that and holding runners is varying your moves a little bit. Don't be consistent on what you do. Maybe you come set one time, pause for 2 or 3 seconds, then deliver the ball. Next time, quickly come set, deliver the ball to home plate. But don't get in consistent action where they can time you up.
Breaking ball dropped in for a strike, and it's 0-2 on Lucas Moore. Yeah, so these are the key parties. You got Bailey, you got Guzman, who's got an absolute cannon behind the plate, and Alicea. And Louisville's been neutralized with the run game through its 2 games so far. Moore strikes this one well in the air to center. Aaron Walton's got room. It's where baseballs go to die. 2 down.
Yeah, and for me, for Louisville, they need to be aggressive on the base pass. I mean, it's kind of what's gotten them here. They've not been able to steal a whole lot of bases. But when you're struggling offensively a little bit, and they are, and we talked about this, just averaging just a shade over 5 runs per game in the NCAA tournament, which is the lowest runs per game by any team in the field, it feels like they got to be a little more aggressive on the base pass.
They got a man aboard here for Matt Klein, junior catcher and captain. We told he missed those 2 months with a broken bone near his wrist. But when he's been healthy and when he's been starting behind the plate, Louisville is 16-3 when he starts back behind the dish. Came back in time for the NCAA tournament.
Ball off.
I mean, their pitching staff issues way fewer walks when he's in there, and the team ERA is way better when he is starting behind the plate.
Yeah, the team ERA for the year for Louisville, 5.33, but if you look at Arizona's team ERA, 4.86, a little bit better.
Klein's a big part of it, and he doesn't stop when it comes to his own scouting reports. He scouts umpires throughout the season as well and keeps notes on it. His buddy Pat Forbes, ace of this staff, was telling us the other day that Matt Klein keeps a notebook on every umpire. If the umpire has kids, does he have hobbies? One guy was really into shoes, so that goes into the notebook. Runner goes, the pitch is strike, Guzman's throw, not in time. What a slide from Alex Alicea.
That almost looked like the little swim move right there, didn't it? He kind of got his left hand out of the way and picked it up and got in there with his right hand. Watch this move right here at the last second. He can see the ball coming. Watch him pull the left arm back and get that right hand in there. And I think he got in there. That is a beautiful swim move to the backside of the bag, going out towards center field, and just kind of sneaks it in there.
That is incredible from Alex Alicea. Again, it's a program that trains every aspect of its base running and base stealing for moments like that. And now you said time to be aggressive. Like, you got to jumpstart this offense.
When your offense is scuffing a little bit, sometimes you got to find a way to create runs. And Louisville has the ability to do that because of the legs.
2-2 to Klein. Pulls it foul.
We always talk about runners in scoring position. I love that for hitters. How do you perform in the big moments? But also for pitchers on the flip side, how do you perform on the bump when you get yourself in trouble? You get runners in scoring position. You look at Smith Bailey on the year, the opponent's batting average is 266, but with runners in scoring position, how about 195? He takes it up a notch or two when in the big moments. And that is so unusual for a freshman to be able to bear down, grab a different gear in moments that matter most.
Nervous moments for Matt Klein's father watching. 7th pitch. Klein pops it foul. And he saw Scott Klein, who played for Louisville as well, and now his son's here at the Men's College World Series on Father's Day, back healthy. When Matt returned in the Vandy Regional, Matt Klein hit a home run, and Scott Klein ended up crying because he didn't know if he was going to get to see his son playing college baseball in a major spot like this again. 3-2. Klein on the line, left center field. This one falling fast. Diving catch in left by Easton Breyfogle. Inning over.
My goodness, huh? Boy, both of these teams, Mikey, they are playing some defense right here. And Breyfogle, the first step's always the most important for the outfielder. And he read this ball. Now, his hand's off the left-handed bat. It's slicing back to him. But do it, kid. Picks it right up off the dirt. And all of a sudden, Dad can't believe that catch right there.
8 teams at the Men's College World Series. Again, there are 2 brackets, top and bottom, double elimination within each bracket. Coastal and Oregon State will meet tonight. A couple of top 16 national seeds. And then tomorrow night, we've got UCLA and LSU. Those are your 4 winners from the first 2 days to begin this great event. With Ben McDonald and Danny Wexelman and our entire crew behind the scenes, I'm Mike Monaco. And a happy Father's Day from Omaha, Nebraska. This is an elimination game. Arizona's up 3-1 on Louisville. A couple of losses on Friday for these teams, and the winner moves on to Tuesday afternoon and gets whoever loses tonight between the Chanticleers and the Beavers. Garen Caulfield had a run-scoring single in the first. Ethan Eberle's 0-1, twist down, a ball and a strike.
Eberle struck out the side there in the 3rd inning. Unfortunately for him, gave up a solo home run to Guzman.
2 freshmen starting pitchers in this one. Just saw Smith Bailey opposite Ethan Eberle, who's been so valuable for this Louisville pitching staff this year. We mentioned Patrick Forbes. He's been really good, super talented junior who could be toward the end of the first round in the Major League Baseball draft. But then this pitching staff, they lost Parker Detmers, talented sophomore, who got hurt in his 4th start of the year in early March. Younger brother of Reed Detmers, former 10th overall pick out of Louisville. And so they have shapeshifted. Tucker Biven moved into the weekend rotation the last couple of weekends of the regular season, and they figured it out here in the NCAA tournament. Bouncing ball, Eberle gloves, and he retires. Caulfield is out, 1 away.
Mike, to your point, because of the turnover, because of the portal, Dan McDonald took it upon himself to go down to Cary, North Carolina last summer to USA Baseball to see Biven and Forbes and Rose, and he opened his spreadsheets. He opened his folder. He met him in the lobby, and he said, this is our roster. This is who I have. I'm going to do everything I can and fight for you guys to get us back to Omaha, to get us back to where we should be. But I promise you, we are going to do it, and we got to stick together.
Yeah, he had to convince and kind of give proof of concept for a program that had been mainstays here 5 times in 13 years, but not since 19.
Yeah, and look, he really hit the recruiting trail hard. And in today's game, man, I tell you what, you can't sit back and wait. Like, if you're sitting back and waiting as a head coach for kids to come to you, it's not going to work in today's game. You got to be aggressive and go out there and get them. And if you look at the best coaches in the country, you talk about, you know, Dave Van Horn and what he's done, Vitalo over at Tennessee, man, they are in that portal recruiting both high school kids, of course, to try to get those guys coming in, but in the portal as well is where it's at. And it's a difficult time right now for coaches because the portal is wide open. Guys are committing and moving right now. And these 8 teams here at the College World Series trying to do that, trying to keep your guys from your high school kids from going pro, and also trying to get in that portal while you're trying to navigate through the College World Series.
Well, Andrew Kane just got hit by a pitch. Breaking ball that got away from Ethan Eberle, who's hit 3. So 1-out base runner for the 8-man Tommy Splain, who singled his first time. Yeah, Dan McDonald's talked about the valleys of the last few years, missing the tournament 3 of the last 4 years. But then emerging from it, rising and getting back here. And we asked him what the low point was over the last few years. His eyes were wide awake when he answered for us. And he said, the roster management, like they had some decommitments, and that was hard to hear. He said, we were once revered as a program.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, it is tough, and it's hard to get back on top. But obviously making it as far as they have this year into the College World Series, that's going to change everything when it comes to recruiting.
It's been a heck of a time over 19 seasons. 6 trips, you see bottom right, to the Men's College World Series for a program that before he arrived had never even won 40 games. This is pulled on a line into left by Tommy Splain. He's got a couple of pull side singles out of the 8th spot. He just continues to find ways to get hits, and Arizona's up 2 with 2 aboard in the 4th.
Yeah, almost the exact same swing. Another ball kind of capped right off the end of the bat, but shoves it out in left center field. 2 for 2 day out of that 8 hole, and boy, has he been big. 14 for 28. 2-seam fastball, but you see where it is? It's elevated just enough, and even though he's out in front of it, he can still get to that ball because it's elevated. That ball's down about 6 more inches. That's probably a weak ground ball to the shortstop, but instead, a base hit.
So first and second here in the 4th for the 9-man in the Arizona lineup. The left fielder, Easton Breifogel, made that fabulous catch in the last half inning on Matt Klein with runners aboard for the Cards. Breaking ball down low from Eberle.
Arizona already today, 3 opportunities with runners in scoring position. They've come through in 2 of them, so 2 for 3 day.
Swing and a miss. Another breaking ball from Ethan Eberle.
He's doing exactly what we thought he would do, and that's lean on that breaking ball in big moments. Typically he throws it about 38% of the time, but it feels like today a little bit more than that.
You saw who's up in the bullpen. Not only Wyatt Danielewicz, but Tucker Bivin, the big arm, who's been starting recently. We talked with Dan McDonald this morning, and he did say to us that Bivin is certainly in play. That's Patrick Forbes. He started Friday. Bivin's been the 2 here recently, Eberle the 3. They started Eberle, keeping him on Sundays because Bivin's got some versatility. Glove side strike. Big stage for Ethan Eberle. Told you he'd been really good in the regional and the super regional. He told us he stayed confident in the 2 biggest games of his life. Gets a strikeout here for out number 2.
Really good sweeping breaking ball by the freshman Eberle right there. The fastball before that on the outer third kind of set it up. When you start this one in the same window and watch him just bend this ball just slightly off the outside edge, you can't throw a breaking ball any better than that with 2 strikes.
So 2 outs for Ethan Eberle. 2 still aboard for Arizona, and goes back to the leadoff spot for Brendan Summerhill. Struck out swinging in the 1st, then lined to left, and he's probably going to see a new arm here. There's been so much 2-out action from Arizona in this NCAA tournament, and Summerhill will try to deliver some more. But Dan McDonald comes out. He's got a lefty ready in the bullpen in Wyatt Danielewicz. They'll go left on left. 2-run ball game. Win or go home.
He got him, and it's all over. Coastal Carolina rules the roost. They win the championship. Strike 3, there it is. The Beavers are on top of the college baseball world again.
Big one coming tonight over on ESPN2, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. Coastal Carolina and Oregon State, 2 of the many former national champions that we've got here in this Men's College World Series. Arizona's got 4 national titles. They say they're chasing 5. They've got the lead in this elimination game, and Louisville goes to the bullpen for the lefty who gets a ton of swing and miss. The junior from Michigan, Wyatt Danielewicz.
Yeah, one of the best they have. That Louisville has down in that bullpen. Look at the numbers on the year. Outstanding. Making his 27th appearance, all out of the bullpen. 32 innings of work, only 17 hits. So that's a 156 opponent's batting average, but 49 strikeouts in 32 innings of work. Fastball's not explosive. It's right around 90, 91, but you look at the swing and miss, it's 36%, or I should say 29% on the fastball, 52 on the slider, and 40% swing and miss on that curveball. To kind of give you an idea, the average D1 pitcher's fastball swing and miss is 18%, and both the slider and the curveball right about 30, 31%. So he is well above average with the swing and the miss.
He'll go left on left with the potential first-round pick, Brendan Summerhill. Junior right fielder who bats for Arizona, ahead by 2, with 2 on and 2 out. We told you a strikeout and a line out to left so far for Summerhill, who definitely has been better against righties, but still solid against lefties this year. One of those 2 distinct breaking balls to start from Danielewicz, up high for ball 1. Dan McDonald was saying to us this morning he was kicking himself for not using Danielewicz Friday against Oregon State.
Yeah, because if you look at the numbers, I mean, he's pretty good at both left-handers and the right-handers. Only about a 10-point difference, but well above average. So he's a guy that you can bring in and not just face a lefty, but he'll get righties out too.
Brendan's father, Mike, you're watching in Omaha. Big spot for Danielewicz. Fouled away, 1-2. You said these moments are mighty stressful for a parent watching a kid, huh?
Nothing makes you more nervous. I've never been more nervous coaching my own son, calling pitches on the bucket and watching, because you are not in control of anything. At least when you're playing, you're in control of the game. But I feel like parents are, in my experience, they're more nervous than the kids are.
I would pay really good money to watch you on the bucket.
It was a sight. It was a sight.
Mike watching Brendan. Leverage spot in this win or go home elimination game. 2-2. Spotted for strike 3 called. K-strut for Wyatt Danielewicz, who leaves 2. Arizona's got the lead 3-1 on Louisville, and when we come back, Chip Hale visits with Danny. We welcome you back to the Men's College World Series on this Father's Day in Omaha, Nebraska. Let's go down to the dugout with Danny Wexelman.
Mike, thanks so much. I'm with Chip Hale. How have you seen Smith Bailey utilize that 4-pitch mix?
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I mean, they're doing a good job of swinging early. So the pitches he's leaving up, they're getting. But obviously when he executes, it's swing and miss. We've made some really nice plays behind him, and it's been a fun game so far.
Offensively for you in the third base box, what have you noticed about your offense?
I just think we're swinging at the right pitches for the most part. I thought we made the starter throw a lot of strikes, and you know that's when we're swinging at the pitches we want to swing at. We're a pretty good team.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you,
Mike.
All smiles, Danny, from Chip Hill. He's got a lot to like so far, Ben.
Yeah, I tell you what, Smith Bailey, it's real. It's a real 4-pitch mix, and I feel like it was mostly breaking balls and fastballs the first time through, but he's starting to use that pitch right there a little bit more. That's a right-on-right changeup at 83 miles an hour. And that's ideal for a starting pitcher. If you can get through the lineup the first time, not showing them everything you have, and maybe save something for the second and third time through, that is big.
This is driven in the air by Jake Monroe over toward foul ground and out of play. Another nice catch. Fire me up.
About this dude, huh?
He got his coffee today.
He's going to show it to the world.
We got shirtless Joe Jackson behind him, too. Wanted to get a little piece of it. But he is shaking out the hand.
Now it's starting to hurt. We got 2 good catches. The boys on the field have been outstanding with the glove work, and even the fans have been just as good.
Yeah, that's what Chip Hill was saying. Defense has been good. Said to Danny, fun game so far. Louisville's down by 2. And with 4, 5, and 6. Again, this is Jake Monroe, singled to begin the second and has scored their only run. That was 90 up and in.
Pitching inside, still to me, one of the most important things for a pitcher. Speed the bats up on the inside part of the plate. Make them think you might to be able to get to what your best stuff is, and that's your off-speed stuff. But if hitters think you're not going to use the inside part of the plate, what do? They get those toes right up on the plate. They start looking for the ball middle away. But every now and then, if you bust them in with a fastball, you put that thought in their mind that you might.
Why don't more pitchers nowadays throw in?
I think we don't work on it enough. I mean, you think about at the little league level, the high school level, pretty much all pitchers, it's middle away, no matter who you're facing, and it's breaking balls and changeups. And then you get to the collegiate game, it's a lot of middle of ball part of the ball plate, and then a lot of off-speed pitches away. And so I think it's kind of a lost art in some ways, and I get it because the misses are so big. And me and you have talked about this. The average big league pitcher misses by 11 inches. That's the average miss for the best pitchers in the world. And so at the collegiate level, it's more than that. So I think a lot of pitching coaches sit on the bucket. They go, man, I don't want to take a chance on the inside part of the play because I could give out a free pass.
Well, that's a strikeout up with a fastball from Smith Bailey, who you said it has the 4-pitch mix working.
Yeah, he's really kept Louisville off balance. He's been able to use it. There's a good breaking ball just right over the top. There's that good changeup. You see the batter a little bit out in front of it, elevates a fastball, changes the eye level, gets a weak fly ball there, and then another changeup right there that's an inside-out swing for a double play. So he's used them all. And to me, he saved that changeup and starting to really work it in the mix now the second time through.
The freshman's been really good. 6'4" out of Peoria, Arizona. Big 12 all-freshman team. And his 18th start of the year. Facing Eddie King Jr., singled in the second. We asked Chip Hale about the recruitment of Smith Bailey. He said he was one of, if not the best pitcher in the state. Him and another guy, a freshman on this team, Mason Russell, were the two best, Chip Hale was saying. And they thought if they landed those two guys, and they did, they thought their class of freshman arms would be secure just with those two.
Well, Smith Bailey was. His senior year coming out of high school, he was the #1 right-handed pitcher rated in the state of Arizona. And I don't care what anybody says, still in this game, and it's been around for over 100 years, the most important thing in this game is pitching. Pitching gives you a chance. If you can pitch and play defense, you'll be in every game.
Seen some good swing and miss breaking balls here from Smith Bailey to Eddie King. And again, Chip Hale said the poise is the most impressive part of Bailey.
Well, you can tell. For just his freshman year, it is a slow heartbeat. And the cool thing about him, he's been at his best late. I mean, he's got 3 quality starts on the year, meaning he's going at least 6 innings, giving up 3 earned runs or less. It's back-to-back. His last 2 starts have been quality starts.
Ooh, just missed. He thought he had it, but the fastball deemed up. And it's a 1-out walk worked by Eddie King and a base runner for the Cards in the 4th.
There's that 4-seam fastball. And it's just about masked high. You can see it just above the belt.
So King gets aboard, and it brings up another talented freshman in Teg Davis, who lined the right with a ball that was smoldered at 115 off his bat.
That's what you call covering a baseball, is what he did.
And we got word the second hardest hit ball of this year's Men's College World Series by 0.3 of a mile an hour, if you're into that thing.
That's close enough to call a tie, isn't it?
Yeah. AJ Salgado of UCLA. Pulled foul by Teg Davis. We were talking about Teg's father, Ben, former 2nd overall pick, who once broke up a Kurt Schilling gem with a bunt bid, famously once upon a time.
That's right. He was 2nd overall pick by the Padres, I think it was.
Yes, sir. This is hammered down the line and right, but Davis pulled it foul.
Boy, he just got a hair out in front of that changeup. But a really good swing.
Dad watching and locked in on his son Teg. There's a really happy-go-lucky type of personality, according to his head coach. In a big spot here. He lays off. Dan McDonald was telling us that Teg's the kid in a high-leverage moment. They'll be out with like a mound visit, and Teg will be like flicking his teammate's ear while they're in a serious moment on the mound. He's unbothered.
Hey, every team needs a couple players like that. I mean, those are the kind of guys that keeps everybody loose. I know it's business, and you're all business when you're out there, but you also got to have fun.
He is comfortable in his own skin. Real fun guy to chat with a few days back. Swing and a miss. Bailey beats Davis in a freshman showdown up the ladder with 92 for a big second out.
Yeah, maybe the best fastball of the day by Smith Bailey. We haven't seen many 92s right here, but he steps on the four-seam fastball and elevates it top shelf to get rid of Teg Davis. Well done. Smith Bailey's one of those guys. It's almost like an old school approach for him. I'm noticing when he wants to give you a little extra, he can. He'll cruise along 90 to 91, and he'll reach back and show you a 93 every now and then, a 94.
I mean, that's a real thing, right? The pitchers do. Like, you save a couple of bolts for when you really need them.
I mean, that's kind of what we call old school pitching, because now I feel like we're at a time where, especially at the big league level, it's max effort, man. It's everything you got, every pitch. But there are guys out there that'll cruise along and then be able to step on a little extra velocity, change velocity on their fastballs.
Well, that breaking ball backed up on Smith Bailey, and it hit Zion Rose. So a walk with one out, a hit batter with 2 outs, and Louisville's got 2 aboard here, down by 2 in the 4th.
Yeah, Louisville needs that big hit. 0 for 3 today is Louisville with runners in scoring position. Arizona 2 for 5, and that's kind of the difference in this ball game.
Kevin Vance, the pitching coach for Arizona, will come out and chat with Smith Bailey, who's only had 56 pitches, but dealing with traffic here in this 4th. Hey, tonight, Sunday Night Baseball is the series finale between the Giants and Dodgers, 7 Eastern, here on ESPN, also on ESPN Deportes and ESPN Radio, with coverage starting at a special time of 5 Eastern. With the baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown, with the Dodgers currently with a 1-game lead on the Giants in the NL West. There's Kevin Vance, really cool look at him. One of the bright pitching coaches in this game. He has done a spectacular job with his staff, along with John DeRoyan, Director of Pitching Performance and Strategy. They have done magnificent work.
Yeah, with all the analytical world that's out there as a pitching coach, you got to be into it. But it's still an old school approach where I can tell you, Mike, this is where your stuff's going to play the best. But from a mechanical standpoint, you still got to be able to tell me how I can get those balls in those spots to have success.
After the visit, the pupil drops in a curveball for strike 1 to Garrett Pike.
This is what I'd like to know from an analytical world. What is the percent of strikes when you get a mound visit from the pitching coach or the head coach or manager? The next pitch feels like it's like 80% strikes.
I was going to say, the over-under like 75%.
I mean, it is so high. And it wasn't just a strike. It was a breaking ball for a strike 1.
Because a good strike thrower overall is like 65%.
Yeah, I think
Major League Baseball.
big league average is right at 63% first pitch strikes.
The 1-1. Pike in the air to center. Aaron Walton toward the gap to put it away. After the visit, Smith Bailey deals with danger. Leaves 2. The lead's 2 for Arizona through 4.
Hey Dad, I'm sitting in Omaha. It's really cool to be here. Hopefully we can get a win on Father's Day and get some hits for you.
A shout out from Mason White to Father Ben, and also grandfather Tim is here as well, and Danny Wexelman is with the White family.
Mike, I am. Hey, first of all, happy Father's Day to you. Mason playing in this game. How are your emotions?
Well, they're kind of all over the place. It's been a really emotional roller coaster coming out of North Carolina and getting here. Kind of last minute wins. It's just a dream come true.
What's made you most proud of Mason this season?
The way that he battles, the way that he never gives up and this team never gives up, and they just fight their tails off all game long.
So you're sitting next to your dad. How cool is that?
Pretty awesome. It's great that we're all 3 here for this.
Yeah, 3 generations for you, Tim. You're sitting next to your son watching your grandson play. How cool is that?
Really cool. You know, you kind of dream about this moment a lot. And then here you are. You're at the College World Series watching the little guy play. So it's a big deal.
What's your favorite memory of him growing up playing baseball?
It was even before he was playing baseball. All he wanted to do was hit. When he was 2. Plastic bat, plastic ball in the backyard. Papa, throw to me. That's all he wanted to do was hit. Well, that's pretty much all he wants to do now.
I really appreciate you. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mike, Ben.
Danny, that is fantastic. The little guy just wanted to hit.
And he's still hitting. Mikey, he is still hitting.
How about the facial resemblance between Mason on deck and Dad Ben as well?
That's what's so important to me about this game is making memories. That's what it's about. I mean, those are memories. These are memories that all 3 of those will take the rest of their lives.
Aaron Walton strikes out. Wyatt Danielewicz has fanned the 2 batters that he's faced, 2 of the best for Arizona. Now here is the 3rd-generation Wildcat, Mason White. Ben, Tim, and Mason, and the whole White gang is here at Charles Schwab Field. Tim ended up a catcher in the Reds organization, and Ben was a closer back in the 90s. And then Mason, one of the career best home run hitters at Arizona. He goes to the backside here into left, and Zion Rose for out number 2 in this top of the 5th inning. A White set down. This has been really good work from Wyatt Danielewicz since he came on in the 4th inning, and he struck out Brendan Summerhill. It's only the first time all season that Brendan Summerhill has struck out twice against the same pitcher, and then a strikeout of Walton in the 2 spot, a fly out from White just there in the 3 spot, and so Chip Hale's going to slow things down for Arizona.
Yeah, it's up to Danielewicz now. And his idea is maybe go out there and try to stack about 3 zeros in a row and give your offense a chance to climb back in this.
Danielewicz is going to stay loose here. So is Smith Bailey. It's been a great story for Wyatt Danielewicz for Louisville. Before this year, he had only pitched 2 2/3 innings. As a freshman in 23, got a few opportunities. Then last year missed the entire season due to injury and got off to a fantastic start to this season. Didn't allow an earned run the first 2 months of the year until the middle of April at NC State. Came in with a 2.25 ERA into this weekend. Roger Williams, the great pitching coach for Louisville, has figured some things out, figuring out which arms he's leaning on from the bullpen down the stretch. A miss to start to Adonis Guzman, who has been mashing in this NCAA tournament. An RBI single in the 1st, pull side solo home run in the 3rd. How about 5 hits already?
Well, his last time up, he got himself a fastball right down the gut. You talk about putting a barrel on one.
Adonis grew up in the Bronx. His dad ran a pizza shop near Yankee Stadium. And this was the big fly in the 3rd.
Yeah, just missed for the breaking ball. Didn't get the call, and boy, he gets a fastball. Just kind of middle in, and he knew exactly what to do with that. Pull those hands in and put a barrel on it. His 9th long ball of the year.
He pops this one up in foul ground toward the Cards dugout, and that one is out of play. 2-2. Not pizza like the Guzman family pizza shop, but bananas. If you're just joining us, it's been part of this journey for Arizona going back to last year. Good vibes for the Wildcats. Backs against the wall for both these teams. Danielewicz is 2-2, and Guzman stays alive. Arizona fans hoping to stay for a couple more days at least. How are we attacking this thing?
Better be very quickly. That thing's melting.
It looked pretty frozen.
Snowball, snow cone. Where you at?
I've heard this before. What do you got? Give me what you got. Give me what you got.
It's not a cone. It's in a cup. So I'm going snowball.
Okay.
It's in a red Solo. It's in a Toby Keith red Solo cup.
I'll fill you up. Top of the zone, 90 with the heater from Wyatt Danielewicz. Bookends a 1-2-3 fifth with a couple of Ks. Trying to keep Louisville around against one of the best freshman arms in the country. Smith Bailey's been good. Pink glove and all. He's dealing and back to work after this. Another game coming tonight, and it is a big one at the Men's College World Series at 7 Eastern Time on ESPN2. Jacob Morrison, the Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year for Coastal Carolina, goes up against possible top 10 pick Iva Arquette for Oregon State, a matchup of two former national championship programs.
Boy, and two hot teams, too. Coastal 24 wins in a row, and the Beavers have won 14 of their last 16 games as well.
Bottom five here. Smith Bailey to Kamayu Neighbors. Yeah, you're not misspeaking there. 24 in a row for Coastal.
I mean, you say that, it rolls off the tongue, but when you think about it, they haven't lost a game since like mid-April, man. We're in June.
Hot shot. Caroms away from Tommy Splain off the ricochet. The throw is not in time from Garen Caulfield.
Timeout. Timeout.
That would have been spectacular.
That was a bullet right there. 102 off the bat. Watch Tommy Splain over at first base. It's a one-hopper, and it just kind of chews him off the body. But there's a second baseman, Caulfield. And the throw just a little bit behind Smith Bailey, who covering first base right here. This throw is on line. I'm telling you what, this could have been a 3-4-1 out over at first base. But instead, a good start for Louisville here in the fifth inning.
Good to see Splain's all right. Caulfield tried to get the out anyway. And another hit for Kamayu Neighbors, and now the wheel's turning for this Louisville offense. This is the part of the lineup where you can really do some things if you're Dan McDonald. This is Alex Alicea, shortstop who bumped up to the leadoff spot here in this one. Dan McDonald was talking with us this morning about a really good bat path, a guy who just grinds at bats.
And he'd be the perfect guy to hit and run with, too. A guy that doesn't swing and miss a whole lot. You got a 1-0 count right here, expecting to get a strike.
Gets the bunt down third base side. Mikalakis can't get rid of it. So it's a bunt single for Alex Alicea. Tying run aboard for Louisville in the fifth.
Well, I don't think you could have stood at home plate and rolled a bunt any better than this down the line. And again, it's about speed, and it's what Louisville does. They pressure defenses up because they can really, really run. Mikalakis knew it, the third baseman for Arizona. He knew he had to get to this ball quickly, get it out of his glove, and he forced an error right here. Not going to go down as an error, but because of the speed and trying to be really quick and getting the ball out of the glove into the hand, you got a first and second, no out situation for the Cardinals here.
And a big spot for their first team All-ACC center fielder Lucas Moore. A strikeout and a flyout to center so far in this one. Trying to get going with the bat. Smith Bailey's first, and Moore offered at it and bunted it foul. He's just 1 for 7 with 5 strikeouts so far here in Omaha, but a golden opportunity looms. And the Cards in search of that big hit with runners in scoring position against the freshman.
Yes, he did.
And Moore can't get that down either.
And that is a hard pitch to bunt right there. That 12-6 kind of curveball that Smith Bailey has. Because you don't want to pop it up. And so you're a little bit timid going after. You don't want to be at the bottom of the ball. Trying to get to the top of it. When you got a ball moving as much as his ball's moving.
0-2. Sales.
Smith Bailey spinning that breaking ball a little over 2,700 RPMs. Big league average on the curveball, right about 2,600 RPMs. To kind of give you an idea how good that curveball is by Smith Bailey.
Is 1-2. Back to it for a strikeout of Moore. And a monstrous first out. And some great sequencing from the freshman, Smith Bailey.
That is well done by Smith Bailey. Let's take a look at the pitch sequence. Smith Bailey versus Moore right here. Starts it with a little bit of a changeup, tries a bunt, doesn't get it. A breaking ball right there. So now he's going to change the eye level. He goes up to change the eye level just a little bit, and then right behind that, another breaking ball. You can't do it better than that. Big time effort. First and second, nobody out. And what does the freshman do? He comes up with a huge strikeout.
And now he's got to deal with the 3-hitter, the catcher and captain for Louisville, Matt Klein. This one hits Kamayu Neighbors right in the back. He was on the bag, but you could hear the anguish. Yee.
This right here will knock the breath right out of you. You talk about right in the back. Oh.
You don't see that a ton.
What, the hair or getting hit like that?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Louisville does love dyeing its hair in the postseason.
Well, Ted Davis was telling us he dyed his own hair, and he did a good job, too.
He said he dyed it 2 more times before it started here in Omaha. Matt Klein spits on a back foot breaking ball. And those are the vibes for this Louisville program. Back in the Men's College World Series for the 6th time. First time for a vet like Klein, who again missed those 2 months with the broken bone near his wrist. And a couple of days after he got hurt, he was in the office of his head coach, Dan McDonald, who on Dan's phone called up the story of Warren Morris and had to tell Matt Klein what that story was. The walk-off championship-winning home run for LSU here. And what's forgotten in a lot of that is Warren Morris missed 42 games that year with a broken hamate bone.
And Skip Bertman tells a story. He wanted to get him in the lineup to get him ready for the College World Series, and all he did was bunt the first 2 weeks. He couldn't swing the bat, so every time he came to the plate, he bunted every time, and then got to the College World Series in the big moment and swung away and hit arguably the biggest home run in College World Series history.
Klein was swinging away there, but he flies out to center at Aaron Walton. And Smith Bailey's got 2 big outs here in the 5th.
Well, I talked about this a couple innings ago. How do you perform as a pitcher in the big moments with runners in scoring position? Smith Bailey had first and second, nobody out. He gets a big strikeout of Lucas Moore and then a weak fly ball out to center field.
Pretty easy to dream on Smith Bailey, too, as he fills out, huh?
Yeah, because you can look at the size, 6'4", only 190 pounds. So you can kind of dream on him a little bit. You know, he puts on another 15 pounds. The velo's probably going to go up. I love the mix. Like, he is a strike thrower with 4 real pitches, and that's unusual for a true freshman.
Ball. Now Jake Monroe bats against Bailey out of the cleanup spot. Monroe's been one of the real hot bats. Junior from Champaign, Illinois. He did 2 years of junior college at John A. Logan, where he was a JUCO All-American last year. Jake Monroe was real big for Louisville in the Supers. Had a monster game 1 last Friday with titanic shots. Place was going bananas. Jake was telling us the other day it was an awesome feeling for him because he felt like his production was slower in the season. Not what he wanted all year, but then he stepped up in the postseason. Big spot here, 1-1. Monroe lays off, 2-1 from Bailey.
Boy, and another thing Bailey's been able to do, and he's getting himself in fastball counts like this one, he's been able to take a little bit off, whether it's been the changeup or one of the 2 breaking balls that he has. He's not really giving in and throwing fastballs in fastball counts.
Ball up. Fastball misses at 93, and it's 3-1. And Eddie King Jr.'s on deck. One of the big bats for the Cards and one of the best in the ACC. 3-1. Monroe hits it in the air to center. Aaron Walton circles, and Smith Bailey's out of trouble.
Mikey, I'm going to tell you what, that's getting it done right there. First and second, nobody out, and you're going through the heart of the Louisville lineup. All he does is a strikeout and a couple of weak fly balls, and the freshman folks putting on a show here in Omaha.
Ben McDonald's favorite, the Ferris wheel. How much would it take to get you up there?
Not much. Not much. I do it every year. I got to go do it again. I haven't done it yet, but I will.
So we got that added to the list. The Ferris wheel and the haircuts.
We're definitely going to get a haircut. I'm going to tell the guy like I told him, give me the Will Smith. Not the current Will Smith, but the Will Smith of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air days. High and tight, baby.
Yeah, we're set for some haircuts. Maybe like Thursday, Friday before the championship series gets started.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. High atop Charles Schwab Field, looking down at Wyatt Danielewicz in the 6th inning. With Arizona up 3-1 on Louisville. Maddox Mikalakis leading off from the 5 spot, the third baseman who had a run-scoring single in the 1st. Struck out in the 3rd. We said this the other day. Is it true you get a haircut every 5 days?
Yeah, it's 5 to 6 days. Maybe 7 days every now and then, but that's kind of where it's at. Yeah, I like to keep it. I'm trying to hide all these gray hairs, and so if I keep it cut really tight, you know, you can't really see them.
I don't spot a single one, honestly.
See there, it's working. But it's only been 4 days ago.
That's a 4-pitch walk, and Mikalakis is on for Arizona to begin this 6th inning. So that's a little, would you say, disheveled, or it's still okay right now?
That's okay right now. The shape is still, you know, squared off like a box. That's what I'm looking for, high and tight. So, but here's the thing about a flat top. Not many barbers can cut it anymore. Like
really?
You kind of got to find the old barber pole every now and then, you know? There we go.
What do we got?
What is he getting? He's getting beard and everything colored.
Wow. I didn't know this place existed. Oh, and check out on the right, we got some serious braiding action going on. Roger Williams out for a visit after the atypical walk there from Danielewicz. Well, we got another big game coming up tonight. Coastal Carolina and Oregon State, who, by the way, they have clippers in their dugout. Oregon State does. They do buzz cuts in game, often after home runs.
In game, huh?
Yeah, you like that?
Like that.
What do you expect tonight in this one?
Man, I tell you what, Coastal has been so. They just don't know how to lose right now, but I love the way Oregon State, you know, they had a lead the other day. All of a sudden you come back, you get it tied back up, and yet they found a way to come back and win. So, I don't know. And that side of the bracket, coming in, I didn't know if there was a favorite going in there. I felt like that side was wide open to me.
I kind of felt like whoever got those wins early was obviously going to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And then probably whoever wins tonight is going to be
100%.
Really well positioned.
You go 2-0, man. You're in really, really good shape.
I think we got some hairspray from all those folks that we just saw.
Mound visit, strike one.
Cardinal colored. Garen Caulfield, the batter. Second baseman had an RBI single earlier. Runner goes. Great jump. The throw is not in time. Kamayu Neighbors wants a challenge. For now, Maddox Mikalakis has a stolen base.
That was a nice play by Neighbors, too. He picked that ball right up off the dirt and applied the tag, but it looked like it's going to be in time. That's a nice pick and a nice tag, but I think he's in there. See how he kept the glove down? A lot of guys, when you catching a short hop like that, the glove wants to come up, and then you got to go back down. He just kind of picked it and kept the glove right there to make it short to be able to make the tag.
1-1. Sails high. Yeah, very nicely done from Kamayu Neighbors, who was pleading for a challenge, and Dan McDonald didn't bite. He's got 2 of them to use, but as we saw in the replay, and as you said, that's the right call not to challenge. So a man in scoring position with nobody out for Arizona looking to add on. That's up high. 3-1 from Danielewicz, who'd been rolling along.
Yeah, going into this inning, Danielewicz had faced 4 batters, struck out 3 of them. But you walked the leadoff guy of the inning. And now you're down 3-1.
Full count. Wyatt Danielewicz has been so good recently. This guy hasn't given up a hit since the ACC tournament almost a full month ago. In the regional, he pitched twice. Scoreless inning against Vandy. Then 2 2/3 of hitless ball. 4 strikeouts against Wright State. Got 4 outs in the supers. This is poked down the line, foul by Caulfield. Smith Bailey on the other side has been ultra impressive for Arizona.
Yeah, what's impressed me about him, when he's needed to turn it up a notch, and he's had to several times, he has been really, really good at doing that.
Stage has not been too big for the freshman in this elimination game, with Arizona fighting to stay alive against Louisville.
Yeah, guys, to that point, I talked to Kevin Vance before the game about Smith Bailey, and I said, what stood out when you first met him, first impressions? And he said he's just cocky enough to have that confidence. In every game, he keeps showing up big moments. He rises to the occasion, but I thought that was pretty good. He's just cocky enough.
You need that, right? You got to toe the line.
Yeah, I don't know if it's cocky or confident. Either way, it works, you know. And we talked about, how do you perform at runners in scoring position as a pitcher? And he was at 195. Think about this. The D1 average with runners in scoring position for a pitcher is 274. He's only at 195. And so normally it takes some experience, some innings, some starts under your belt to be able to elevate in big moments, but not for him.
And so he's got a 2-run lead. Arizona's looking to add on, and here comes Dan McDonald to make a move. And this is a major one. Smith Bailey's chowing down, and Louisville is fighting for its life here in the 6th inning. Tucker Bivin, the USA Collegiate National Team reliever turned starter, is going to come out of the bullpen once again here in Omaha, trying to keep the Cards within 2. It's on a steamy Sunday in Omaha, Nebraska, and our game track in the 6th inning. Arizona up 3-1 on Louisville. Wildcats have had a great pitching performance from Smith Bailey. You saw the home run from his catcher, Adonis Guzman, and Louisville has left a half dozen aboard. And Arizona's got 2 on right now, so Louisville goes to its big gun, who they're summoning from the bullpen yet again, the junior right-hander Tucker Bivin.
Yeah, Bivin began the year for the Cardinals in the bullpen, and he was really good. Picked up 4 saves, recently went into that rotation, and he hadn't disappointed in the rotation, and he's back in a familiar spot out of the bullpen too. It's some big time stuff. Fastball is going to tick up to 95. It's a 2 and a 4 seam fastball. The difference maker for him is that slider though. He'll throw his slider about 25% of the time, and opponents only hitting 120 off of that pitch, and it's got a 51% swing and miss, which is way off the charts. And then what he needs right now is a ground ball double play, and if you get to 2 strikes, the mindset changes a little bit. Then you start thinking about strikeout.
The corners come in for Louisville. The batter here is the 7-man DH for Arizona, Andrew Kane, who's grounded out and been hit by a pitch. And he bunts and pops it up at Bivin. 1 pitch, 1 out on Kane.
Boy, what a huge out that is, huh? First and second, nobody out, just trying to get it down, but watch that bat. See that bat? You see how the bat head dropped just a little bit? The hand stayed level, but the bat head dropped a little bit, and you're supposed to keep the bat head above your hands to create that down angle, and he dropped it just enough to pop it up, unfortunately.
So it's 1 out, and now to the 8th spot for Tommy Splain, who's got 2 singles in this one. First and second in the 6th for Bivin. First pitch swinging. Splain skies this one into left center. Zion Rose is there. Mikalakis tags. Rose's throw is a dart. Double play, inning over. Mikalakis running in the face of Zion Rose, and just like that, Louisville gets off the field.
Well, I tell you what, and I'm not sure what, he's already in scoring position as Mikalakis, but I tell you what, Rose gets behind this ball right here, and he comes up throwing. He throws a perfect dart over to Monroe. Watch this throw right here. You can't throw it any better than that right there, and it's not even close over there at third base.
One scene, what does win or go home mean? Just watch Dan McDonald here in the dugout between innings.
Boy, you talk about a passionate dude, too, and this is a one-way conversation. He has got everybody's attention right now.
Four innings. That's at least part of the messaging. First pitch swinging, Eddie King Jr., the senior, rolls out to Mason White. And there's one away to begin the bottom of the 6th with the clock ticking on Louisville, down by 2 in this elimination game.
Yeah, part of that, Mike, was, hey, we got 4 innings. We got 4 innings left. Do not wait. We can't wait until tonight. Figure it out right now. That's the most impassioned I've seen Dan McDonnell in a long time. The attention that he just got from his players. And quoting Peter Michael, who said, stop it. Just stop it, Mike.
Peter Michael, one of the pitchers on this team for Louisville. Ted Davis bats, true freshman with 18 home runs. Yeah, Dan McDonnell's known to talk with his team right when you get around this point in the game in the dugout. He's big on the last 3 innings. It's something he's been harping on really these last 4 seasons in particular. But I'm with Danny. I don't know if I've ever seen him that fiery in the dugout like that.
Well, Smith Bailey's going through the lineup for the 3rd time, and I think he thinks they should be having better swings than what they are, seeing Smith Bailey for the 3rd time. But I tell you what, you just don't know what's coming. And boy, that last inning of his, he got himself in a pickle, did Smith Bailey. He figured out a way. Over on a 3-1 count, runners on first and second base, he did not give in at all, and threw a 3-run little cutter to get off the field. You just don't know what's coming. He's thrown a lot of strike ones. He's put hitters on defense right away, and he has mixed as well as anybody we've seen here at the College World Series.
It's only at 81 pitches into the 6th. Good take by Ted Davis. On this Father's Day at the Men's College World Series, the true freshman, the Arizona native on the bump. Just upstairs, and it's ball 4. And Ted Davis is on for the first time today. A 1-out walk for Louisville in the 6th inning.
Every time Louisville gets a batter on right now, the tie-in run comes to the plate.
There you go, baby. Let's go, baby.
And here is one of the big threats in this lineup, Zion Rose. Down in the 7th spot today. Outstanding freshman season last year, freshman All-American, USA in the summer, and now a good sophomore season as well. Ended up first team All-ACC, top 10 in the conference in RBIs. Nervous moments for Louisville. That's Peter Michael, who Danny was talking about. Bouncing ball foul. This Louisville team had a mission to put this program back where they feel like it belongs. They were a 2 seed in Nashville. They outlasted the #1 overall seed Vandy there. Then won a home super against fellow ACC foe Miami. Program that was unranked in the preseason top 25 and wasn't ranked until the middle of March. And they haven't been ranked since a month ago. Yet they're one of the last 8 teams. Rose rolls it to short at Mason White. Caulfield's turn is in time. Bailey gets a double play ball to end the 6th.
Boy, big time pitch behind the count. A little bit of a cutter from Smith Bailey. He gets that ground ball contact that he wants. And I always say, roll them, boys. And this is rolling one right here. How about 6, 4, 3, a double play. Smith Bailey doing his thing, folks.
It's an elimination game at the Men's College World Series. Arizona's got about 100 bananas in the dugout every game, they say. They're going up against Louisville. Had some great plays in the seats today as well. A couple different fans making plays. Because everyone's involved here in Omaha, Nebraska on this warm Sunday afternoon for this wonderful event.
And we don't have an error on the scoreboard either. I mean, it has been clean in the stands, and it's been even cleaner on the field.
Arizona's up 3-1, 7th inning, 9-1-2 for the Wildcats, starting with Easton Breifogel against Tucker Biven. Yeah, defense has been key. You were telling me a stat pregame about errors at the major league level,
yes,
and what it means if you just play clean defense.
I mean, we talk about defensive run saved. That's one metric, how good you are. There's a lot of different metrics, but the old school way of fielding percentage, and I was talking to Billy Ripken the other day, who's a baseball guy, and we were just kind of sharing how the game's changed, and Billy said, Ben, think about this. He said, We have kept stats since 2009 in the big leagues. All 30 teams played 162 games. That's over 70,000 games played since 2009. If you look on the scoreboard after the game, and that last column, runs, hits, and the last one is E's, errors. The team that makes the fewest amount of errors in a ball game at the big league level wins at 63% of the time. Now, how good is 63%? Well, if you factor in big league average, big league records right now, that would make you the third best team in Major League Baseball right now. And so there's a lot of ways and metrics, but the old school way of, do you just make the routine play? Do you catch it? Can you handle the ball? Can you take care of the baseball? Is so big. And it's the same way at the collegiate game. And you look on that scoreboard after games, I promise you, the teams most of the time that make the fewest amount of errors will be the team that wins the ball game.
It's so simple and it's so accurate, it feels like.
Yeah, there's so much information out there now with the analytical world, but sometimes just the simple things, you go back to what baseball was built on. If you can catch it, if you can throw it, if you can hit it, you're a good ball player and you got a good team if most of your guys can do that.
And we've seen great defense in this game.
That's what it takes. I mean, we always talk about hitting, and hitting is great. But I'm a big believer, if you can pitch and you can play defense, you got a chance to win every ball game.
And again, no errors in this one. Bouncer right side, and Tank Davis is out. Retires Easton Breyfogle. Yeah, we've seen great defense in the seats and on the diamond as well.
Yeah, and some of these hadn't been just routine plays. That's Rose right there. And how about the shortstop right there? Now, you won't see a better play. White, Caulfield over this plane right there. I mean, it has been on point. It's been on point up in the stands, too. A little backhand catch there. Grab that home run with your cap, little fella.
Yeah, he's become a little bit of a celebrity, we've learned out there. Our buddy Jack DeLongchamp is out doing the interview. That kid Nate Durr made the catch out there. He's going to be a celeb now. Brendan Summerhill rolls out to Kamayu Neighbors. Is Nate signing autographs out there? Probably earlier.
You know he's signed a few.
How many autographs do you think you signed in your life?
I don't know. I'm just glad now when somebody recognizes me. Maybe a few many years ago. Not so many today.
Little Red Sox representation there. Huskers in the building. GBR. Dylan Raiola was here yesterday, Nebraska quarterback. Aaron Walton takes down. Just a great scene. A great way to spend Father's Day here at Charles Schwab Field.
A little bit overcast, got a little breeze blowing. It's not terrible. That's a pretty good sinker right there at 94.
I guess this is equal opportunity directing from Jeff Evers, a Red Sox shirt and a Yankees cap. Oh, and the cards. Other cards. 2-2 on Aaron Walton, the Samford transfer, center fielder in the 2 spot. Smith Bailey's been locked in. This dude couldn't wait to get to the mound for the bottom of the first inning.
Man. What is it, 5 of his last 6 starts now? He's worked at least 6 innings.
Ball. Good breaking ball. Didn't tempt Walton enough. Yeah, so 6 innings in each of the 3 starts in the postseason for Smith Bailey. That's the longest streak by an Arizona pitcher this season. On the ground sharply past Alex Alicea. Aaron Walton's on for the 2nd time with his first hit. 2-out single in the 7th.
Was a good idea.
Boy, if you're Arizona, man, you'd love a little bit of insurance when we get to the back third of this ball game. Louisville's got some pop, and they can beat you with their legs a little bit too, and you feel like there's a run in Louisville.
That's what we call locked in right there.
That is locked in. That is laser focused on what I'm doing. I'm thinking about the next 3 batters that I'm going to face, what I'm going to start them off with, how I've gotten them out.
Now to the 3 spot for Mason White. Has been hit by a pitch, has struck out, and has a fly out to left. The greatest show on dirt brings us to our first elimination game in Omaha. Tucker Bivens' first pitch drops down to Mason White.
Well, Dan McDonald went and got Tucker Bivens back in the 6th inning with first and second and nobody out. You get a pop-up of a bunt, then a fly ball to left field, and a double play ends up on that.
Dribbler to first, and Tech Davis, who retires Mason White. Yeah, Tucker Bivens done his job in a relief role again today. We hit the stretch. 2-run ball game, and Bailey's ready to go. Our Capital One rewarding performance, the true freshman starter, Smith Bailey.
Yeah, he skipped out on the mound, and I tell you what, he's been skipping around a lot. He's been bending that breaking ball in there, showing a good fastball. He's ticked up to 94, change speed. He saved that changeup really for the second time through the lineup. Started to show Louisville a little bit something different, and this kid has pitched. He's pitched backwards when he's needed to, meaning he's thrown something other than a fastball, and some fastball counts. And how about that? 6 innings pitching all 3 of his NCAA tournament starts, man. That is big time right there. 3 quality starts under his belt in his last 3. Remember, he only had a total of 4 quality starts on the year, but he has saved his best for last.
So you said it, 6 innings in all 3 starts in the postseason for Smith Bailey. The only other guy in the country who's done that this year. Pretty good company, Kate Anderson.
That is really good company. Kate Anderson, about the best in the business, but Smith Bailey for his freshman year, I'm telling you what. And I keep going back to this because I remember my freshman year, when you start to rack up innings, man, and you hadn't thrown this many innings in your career, and you start to get where he is. He had 83 innings, so he's approaching 90 innings of work. Typically, the stuff starts to tick down a little bit. You typically get a little bit tired. But Smith Bailey has not been there. He has gotten better.
How many innings you throw as a freshman? Any idea?
Just in college, I was mostly.
This is lined down the line by Garrett Pike into the corner. Takes a big turn, and Garrett Pike's got a leadoff double to begin the bottom of the 7th for Louisville.
That's exactly what Louisville needs is base runners. And we keep saying this. Every time they get a runner on, they are 1 swing away from tying this ball game. And this is a nice piece of hitting right here. A little backdoor breaking ball. See how he just kind of sits back? Firm front leg right there. He just kind of sits back. The weight doesn't transfer out in front. He gets a hanging breaking ball and a little backside bullet down the line. A really good start for Louisville here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, the innings piling up for Smith Bailey in a great way for him in the postseason. But now he's got to deal with trouble. Kamayu Neighbors in the 9th spot. Pulls back, and it's ball 1. Well, so the wheel's turning for Chip Hale. Action in the bullpen. This is Garrett Hicks, who we saw at work on Friday. Junior right-hander who was good initially when he came on right away.
Yeah, he only threw 25 pitches on Friday, so he is clearly good to go.
Hey, Neighbors gets it down. It's a good one. Bailey flips and safe at first. 2 on for Louisville.
Kamayu Neighbors in that 9-hole right there. Tried to bunt the first time, and boy, he got it down, and he got it down the perfect spot. And Smith Bailey tries to go get this ball, but there's a little bit of a hesitation because he's got to throw over the top of Neighbors right there. And boy, Neighbors can get down the line. He is smelling the infield hit right there, and he just beats that out.
Arizona has challenged the call of safe at first base. This play is under review.
All right, if you're new to this, coaches get 2 challenges per game. You keep them if you're successful. And, of course, the threshold is indisputable video evidence to reverse the call. The call on the field is safe. What say you?
Looked like to me he is there.
Agree.
I mean, it's by a toenail, but he's there. And watch where Neighbor steps on the bag right there. Right on the front of the bag. That's where you want to be. It's hard to think about that going down the lineup, but sometimes going down the line, the difference of where you step on first base is the difference between out and safe. And that's perfectly right on the front of the bag. A lot of guys get to the top of the bag, which is about 6 inches more. And if he would have got to the top of the bag, he might have been out. But instead, right to the front.
At the first review, this place is confirmed safe at first base.
So Kamayu Neighbors beats it out, and Louisville's got 2 on with nobody out. By the way, if you're wondering on the double first base, this is new in college baseball this year. The batter runner's got to touch the green, or in some cases it's orange base on a batted ball. So that's new in this game this year and has gone off, I think, pretty nicely this season. So 2 on for Louisville. They are threatening. They are down by 2, and Smith Bailey departs. A gem into the 7th, but Louisville is threatening. Garrett Hicks comes on to replace the freshman who delivered with Arizona's backs against the wall. 2.5 hours away from Iva Arquette of Oregon State in action against Coastal Carolina. And hi, Iva. Yep, we're talking about you. You guys are in action tonight against Coastal, 2 of the top 15 teams in the country. 7 o'clock Eastern time over on ESPN2. Beavers have had some fun the last couple of Fridays in the NCAA tournament. Here on this Sunday, the freshman Smith Bailey departs, pitched into the 7th for the first time in his career, and we haven't seen a smile from this guy in hours.
And does he ever smile? Maybe he'll smile after the game if Arizona wins. He was all business, but he an outstanding job. And there's Garrett Hicks, 34th appearance of the year. ERA a little bit elevated for him. All those appearances have come out of the bullpen. 44 2/3. He can strike you out. 49 of those. 3-pitch mix, fastball and a couple breaking balls, slider and a curveball. He may show you an occasional changeup, and the fastball is going to be right in that 88 to 92 range.
He picks immediately on Kamayu Neighbors, who we've already seen be active on the base paths. He's got 3 hits out of the 9 spot, and they're at the corners with nobody out for Alex Alicea. First pitch swinging, floated behind third, foul ground. Maddox Mikalakis runs it down. Neighbors tags from first, and the throw's not in time. How about that from Kamayu Neighbors? And now it's 2nd and 3rd. Wow.
I mean, you tag up on a ball that went a total of about, what, 80 feet? This is just heads up right here. Watch him, top right part of your screen. He goes back to the bag just in case. And really, he catches a third baseman, Mikalakis, sleeping a little bit, because you don't think when you catch a ball to infield, a guy's going to tag up on a ball that went about 90 feet from home plate. But Neighbors does, and there, right there, is your tying run now in scoring position.
And now Lucas Moore. That was something from Neighbors. Kid was a walk-on at Cal State Northridge. He was telling us the other day. Wants to be a minister when his playing days are over. Super cerebral, and he ran on Maddox Mikalakis. And now the first team All-ACC center fielder who's 0 for 3. Moore in the air to center, and Aaron Walton, who backs up, should be deep enough. Garrett Pike tags and scores, and it's a 1-run ball game. Walton's throw was inaccurate, but Neighbors stays at 2nd, and it's 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th.
Well done. I mean, you'd love to get a base hit right there. But there is plenty of time left in this ball game, and the Cardinals have drawn within 1. That tying run still sitting out at 2nd base, and Louisville just searching for the big hit. Only 1 base hit today with runners in scoring position, 1 for 10.
And now Matt Klein in the 3 spot. Takes strike 1, top of the zone from Garrett Hicks. Klein has a fly out to left. He got robbed in the 3rd on another fly out to left, and then the 5th flew out to center. Bouncer over the mound towards short. Mason White throws out Klein, and Hicks preserves the lead. Louisville gets 1, but Arizona's still in front. We go to the 8th inning. Smith Bailey finally smiles. Wildcats by 1. Getting late for both these teams. We showed you Dan McDonald in the Louisville dugout before, and now Chip Hill in the Arizona dugout. Let's check in with Danny.
Yeah, guys, he said, slow it down. We're fine. We're fine. We're winning this thing. Just relax. So a little bit different than Dan McDonald, Mike.
Yeah, different message. And Ben, they're playing in front like they have been, you see, really since the start of this game.
It feels like they're hanging on, because you look at the last 4 innings, and the Louisville pitchers have done a really solid job. Daniel Levitch came in, Tucker Biden on the mound now, and it's 4 straight zeros. And that's what gave Louisville a chance to climb back in this ballgame. We always talk about hitting and coming back and coming from behind, but it starts with the pitchers on the mound to be able to stack zeros and give your offense a chance to climb back in these things, and that's exactly what the bullpen for Louisville has done.
For Chip Hale, 4-time national championship program, and they talk openly about, they say, chasing 5. They talk about that in their first meeting of the year. It's Adonis Guzman, who takes high from Tucker Biven. A ball and a strike. Guzman, an RBI single in the first, a home run in the third, punched out in the 5th. And now Biven. Boy, that is,
you see that ball
nasty.
Move?
That is a sinker of epic proportions, and Matt Klein can tell you about it.
That ball nearly 20 inches of horizontal run. Think about this. The plate is 17 inches wide. That ball right at 20 inches of horizontal run. They're kind of going left to right. And if you can make it move like that, you just throw it for the center part of the plate, and you let that movement just take over.
That was pretty nasty. The pitch to Guzman is fouled away.
There is so much information out there for pitchers now on grips and how the wind affects the ball. I mean, you know this because you do the big league games, and we see this analytical data, but it's weird with these Edgertronic cameras that they have now, how they can slow it down, and just moving your fingers a quarter inch on the ball, left or right, or moving your thumb position, all of a sudden you start to create this crazy movement.
The 2-2 is floated to left. Rose was deep. He's got great speed, and he runs it down for out number 1 in the top of the 8th, with Arizona up 3-2 on Louisville. Hey, we're here for the Men's College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, and action continues all week with the final series starting on Saturday. For more info, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Do you think you would have liked having all this information we have?
100%. The hitter told us if our pitches were any good, right? You throw a breaking ball in there, it gets pounded off the wall, and you go, oh, that's not very good. We had to go kind of what the hitter told us, but now we have all this data and this information, how balls move, what makes balls move, and I'm convinced at the big league level, there's guys making it to the big leagues right now that would have never made it, say, 20 years ago, but with the information that's out there right now, the seam shifted wake and how you can grip a ball a little bit different, how the wind affects the ball, all this new data out there. And that's why pitchers are dominating the game at the big league level. I mean, you think about it, the average big league hitter in today's game is hitting .244. That's the batting average.
That's a strike to Maddox Mikalakis. You got Garrett Hicks going for Arizona. We were talking with Dan McDonald about it this morning. I hadn't thought about it in the terms he put it. He said if Chad Green, former Louisville Card, had been around with TrackMan, he would have been drafted a lot higher.
A lot higher.
Swing and a miss. 95 up the ladder from Tucker Biven, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, speaking of a lot higher, that's just grip it and rip it right there. 95 miles an hour, 4-seam fastball, up and in, and good luck trying to get to that one.
Tucker Biven's the most versatile guy on this pitching staff. Dan McDonald was saying to us this morning. They'd go through weekends where they left town, they hopped on the bus, and he'd only gone an inning and a third for the weekend. Faces Garen Caulfield, who pops one up. No man's land, out into right, and Davis nearly made a fabulous catch. But it drops down for Caulfield, who dunks in a 2-out single. That was nearly spectacular from Teg Davis.
Yeah, Neighbors, the second baseman, chasing it. Davis, the first baseman, chasing it. And of course, Eddie King Jr. out in right field. Everybody converging on this ball, and it is just hitting over. But watch this effort right here. Teg Davis lays out and just a tad short on that one. Well, you talk about a tough play. You're running wide open with your back to the infield. Another thought in your mind when you're an infielder running wide open, a collision. That's always in the back of your mind, too.
Thankfully, everyone avoided that. So Caulfield's on. Now the DH, Andrew Kane, against Biven. So Louisville shifted Biven into the rotation. Again, injuries are part of the Louisville starting rotation for a lot of this year as well.
Yeah, that just feels wrong. You got one of your best arms, one of your best pitchers, and he's only giving you an inning out of the weekend. Dan McDonald said, you know what, I got to take this kid and get him in the rotation. We need him to pitch more.
You saw Forbes there in the dugout. He missed a couple of turns with a little forearm issue. And then Parker Detmers, who we mentioned, he had Tommy John. He is here with the Cards in the dugout. That's a big loss as well. And so Bivin, once they decided on that down the stretch, has really helped out this staff. Here's 1-1. Fouled away. Tucker Bivin pitching here against Arizona. Top of the 8th inning. Tucker's father, Josh, played for the Cards as well. That's a snow cone on the head.
There's a lot going on there.
Another throw over.
Yeah, Kyle fell over at first. Only 2 stolen bases on the year.
This elimination game at the Men's College World Series tightly played into the late innings. Tucker Bivens 1-2. Fouled off of Kane. Tucker Bivin from New Albany, Indiana, just across the border from Louisville. Guy who has seen so many postseason games that Louisville played in through the years as a fan. Now in Omaha. His 1-2 sails up and out. Logged good number of innings as a true freshman 2 years ago. Then last year, Tucker Bivin led the team in appearances. Had a handful of saves, and ERA in the 3s. Had a good season again this year. His 2-2 will have to wait. Should say 1-2 on Kane. Grounded out to second in the first, got hit by a pitch in the 4th, and then popped up that bunt against Bivin when he came out of the bullpen to face Kane in the 6th. 1-2. That leaks down and away. Arizona's 36-0 and they're leading after 7 innings this year. 2-2. Line drive center field, base hit Andrew Kane. 2 strike, 2 out single. 2 aboard, including Caulfield now in scoring position.
Boy, that was a beautiful move to a breaking ball, and a pretty good breaking ball too. This ball was down low. Center part of the plate. Watch Andrew Kane right here. Just kind of goes down and just sticks his nose on one, hits it right back up the middle.
And so Arizona's looking for insurance. And they go now to their senior first baseman, Tommy Splain, in the 8th spot, who is 14 for 29 with 3 tanks in the NCAA tournament. Homered in 2 games of the regional, then in game 2 of the Super. And he rolls this one to Alex Alicea at short. He throws on the run to end the inning. 1-run ball game. And look who's coming up. Jake Monroe in the cleanup spot. Eddie King Jr. And then the bopper of a freshman in Tank Davis for the Cards. Getting ready for tonight. All-National Championship showdown between them, who won it all in 2016, and Oregon State, with a handful of national titles to its name. All right, here we go. Bottom of the 8th inning. 1-run game yet again for Arizona. 4, 5, and 6, as we showed you for Louisville, starting with Jake Monroe, who's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored back in the 2nd. He rolls this one to short. Mason White bobbles, slings wide, and Louisville's got the leadoff man aboard on an error by Mason White.
Boy, this game had been so clean until that point. Just a routine ground ball. A little breaking ball. Monroe gets out in front of it. And right there, the ball just kind of kicks up on Mason White just enough. Now, Jake Monroe over at first base. Not a whole lot of stolen bases on the year. Just 2 of them.
He's on for, well, you can hear Eddie King. First pitch swinging. Eddie King is a senior from Illinois. Came here second in the entire ACC in OPS, and a guy who had just been mashing down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, normally this would be a butt situation, but with a guy swinging it like Eddie King Jr. is right now, you let him get after it.
Inside.
Breaking ball backs up. Well, you start wondering about the bullpen as well for Arizona. They've had Tony Pluta as one of the best relievers in all of college baseball all season. Saw him on Friday, and he's an option today. Up the ladder at 92, and it's 1-2 on Eddie King.
Yeah, Pluta only threw, 8 pitches a couple of days ago. So he is good to go.
Second team all-conference with 14 saves, but for now it's Hicks with a 1-2. King lines it past White into center field, a base hit. 2 on for Louisville with nobody out.
And Garrett Hicks wants this pitch back right here. You worked so hard to get to 2 strikes. He hung a breaking ball, did Hicks. And Eddie King Jr., who has been as hot as anybody in the postseason. Look where this breaking ball is. Just sitting right up in the heart of the plate, and it's screaming, hit me. And Eddie King Jr. just quickly turns it around. So first and second here in the bottom of the 8th, and nobody out.
And Chip Hill makes the move. Costly errors set this inning in motion for Louisville, and Mason White still showing his frustration. And here comes one of the best relievers in college baseball to face one of the best freshman bats in the country on the other side. Tony Pluta's been nails for the last 2.5 months. Pressure-packed spot is next in Omaha. Seasons and careers hang in the balance today at the Men's College World Series, our first elimination game. Loser goes home. Winner faces whoever loses tonight between Coastal Carolina and Oregon State in a game that would be played Tuesday afternoon. And here we go. Tony Pluta is, in the words of Mason White, the best pitcher in the country. 5'9", arrived as a guy who could catch as well. He has set a program single-season record with 14 saves, and we showed you he's not given up an earned run since the beginning of April.
Gaudy numbers. 125 ERA, 29 appearances, all out of the bullpen. Those 14 saves, and how about 34 strikeouts to only 7 walks. Cutter's the most used pitch he has. And then there's the fastball that's going to average right about 92. He'll show you an occasional curveball and a changeup as well.
And he faces the hulking freshman Tage Davis with 2 on, nobody out for Louisville. Davis takes a strike at the bottom of the zone from Pluta, who's one of the most fascinating pitchers in college baseball. Facing the 18 home run hitting Davis. Scorched a ball at 115 off his bat his first time. This one poked in the air. Shallow right center. Summerhill dives and can't get there. They're loaded for Louisville.
Sometimes just putting bat on ball will find the outfield grass. That was a changeup by Pluta right there. And he got the freshman Tage Davis out in front, but boy, he gets it right off the end of the bat and just kind of serves it out there where nobody is. Outstanding effort by the right fielder, Summerfield, who can't come up with it. Man, oh man, what a game.
Ben Davis, the former second overall pick, loves it. Tag drops it in. And remember with Brendan Summerhill in right field as well, he's been dealing with a hamstring injury these last few weeks. He told us it's probably not 100%. He told us it's as good as I can feel. Obviously a tough play to make out there no matter what, but there have been a couple of balls this weekend that have dropped into right.
Yeah, I mean, he's not 100%, but you got to have that bat in the lineup. There's no doubt about it.
And it is spacious at Charles Schwab Field. Well, this gets mighty interesting as Kevin Vance pays a visit to Tony Pluta. Again, Pluta's been as good as anyone in baseball this year. Through the end of March, he had allowed 1 earned run. First day of April, Tony Pluta gave up 4 earned in a third of an inning against Grand Canyon. That's it. So coming into this Men's College World Series, Pluta had given up 1 earned run in his other 35 1/3 innings this season. And he was telling us the only reason he gave up 4 earned against Grand Canyon was because he had to finish a test, get a ride over with their equipment manager, showed up for the game in the 3rd inning, and came into the game late.
Well, he has got his hands full right now with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Against all ACC, Zion Rose. First pitch swinging, flared into right, and that ball is fair! Monroe scores, King right behind him! Louisville leads!
Well, when you living right, you are living right. The last 2 balls put in play, not hit very hard, but hit in the perfect spot. Little cutter right here kind of stays in the heart of the plate, but you see when he catches it a little bit off the label, inside out swing, and just kind of shoves it gently down the right field line, and watch this ball hit. It just kind of hits and checks up. 2 would score, and now you got 2 in, runners on 1st and 3rd, and still nobody out.
And Garrett Pike, the batter, with the infield in for Arizona. Man, what a turn in this game. And it all started with that error at shortstop. And you had been harping on how important just clean baseball is. An unfortunate feel for Mason White. First pitch to Pike. Runner goes from first. The pitch a ball, and they'll concede second to Zion Rose.
All right, Arizona's pushing all in, infield coming in. They have got to get the runner at home plate. They can't afford to give another run here.
Pluta's 1-0. On the ground to second. Caulfield comes to the plate. They run Davis back toward 3rd. Tag applied by Pluta. And there's 1 away. And Rose stays stapled to second as well. So that's about as good as you can do for Arizona.
Well, that's exactly why you bring the infield in. You bring the infield in, and if you're on the mound, when you see the infield in, you're telling yourself one thing: I have got to find a way to create a ground ball. And Pluta does hit right to the second baseman, Caulfield. A quick dart throw to home plate, and the run down begins at that
point. So now you got a double play in order. Now, come on, neighbors. The batter here runs very well. Switch hitting second baseman in the 9th spot. So you got Pike at first, Rose still at second, and the batter is Neighbors, who has singled 3 times.
Ball.
Louisville has played in some wild games the first 3 days of the Men's College World Series.
Man, you just don't you never know what you're going to see here.
Top 9 on Friday. They improbably tied it against Oregon State. Only for the Beavers to walk it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. After Patrick Forbes had been great going up against Dax Whitney, the Oregon State stud freshman who started that one. And now a couple of runs for the Cards in the bottom of the 8th inning 2 days later. That's a strike. Flip side for Arizona. Remember, the Wildcats gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning on Friday against Coastal Carolina. They lost that one 7-4. And the lead has evaporated here these last 2 innings for Arizona. Roped into right field by Neighbors. Stop sign for Rose. He runs through it. The throw is cut, and Louisville adds on.
Well, how about you, Kamaya Neighbors, huh? Sitting in that 9-hole for Louisville. How about a 4-for-4 day? 4 times to the plate, 4 singles. And Louisville up 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We kept talking about when is Louisville going to get that big base hit? When are they going to get that big base hit in scoring position? Well, they've got 2 of them just in this inning alone. Rose with a 2 RBI single, and Neighbors with an RBI single of his own. A beautiful swing.
And Tony Pluta has given up a run for the first time in 2.5 months. The lead's 2. Alex Alicea takes, and now he will run the man back to third. Pike gets hung up. Pluta applies the tag, but dropped the baseball. 6-3 Cardinals. What in the world?
Well, somebody missed a sign for Louisville, but it paid off. Looked like to me the squeeze was on. Watch this, runner at third breaking right away, but no attempt at all to bunt the ball, and the rundown begins right here. And there's Pluta right there, sitting right there, but the ball, he never received the ball, never caught it cleanly. Boy, it hits right in the heel of his glove and pops out. And Louisville with a 4 spot here in the bottom of the 8th.
It's an error charged to Tony Pluta. And the L's up on the other side for the Cardinals. It all started with a ground ball to short from Jake Monroe to begin this bottom of the 8th inning. Couple of balls into right field. All against one of the best relievers in college baseball. Infield is in. Alicea bunts back to the mound, and a run scores. 7-3 Louisville, and no miss signs that time.
Well, we talked about Louisville and how many different ways that they can beat you. Beat you with their legs, they can beat you with the small ball, and they've done it in this inning in a big way right here. This is well executed here. Just get it on the ground, runner break it. All you got to do is find a way to get it on the ground. They execute it perfectly. And now up 4, 7-3 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Lucas Moore past the mound. Mason White had a hop go off his midsection. And now Moore's on. And Louisville will send 9 to the plate here in the 8th inning on an infield single.
Boy, the lug nuts have gotten loose. The wheels have fallen off for the Wildcats.
Entering the Men's College World Series, Arizona was 39-0 when leading or tied after 7. In danger now of losing 2 straight such games here in Omaha.
Safe. And there's any doubt that Lucas Moore, who has 51 stolen bases on the year, is not going to steal a base right here. Look, he's going right now. Look,
he just takes off right in the face of Tony Pluta. This has unraveled on Arizona. It has sped up on the Wildcats.
I mean, Lucas Moore's looking around. The middle infielders are walking away from the bag. Pluta's on the mound. He's not paying attention. He just takes an extra 90. Watch him right here. He's going to take a quick look. Sees the infielder shortstop. Just kind of turns his back, and he just sneaks off the bag and gets himself in a scoring position.
Here it is again.
Watch this. He's looking. He's watching the middle infielders. They're backing up, and he's just off and moving.
1-0 on Matt Klein in the 3 spot. Cuts through the cutter there from Tony Pluta. Man, what a change in this game.
How quickly it can change. And that's why you got to get 27 outs in this game. That's the beauty of the game of baseball. Not on time, it's on outs. You got to get all 27 of them to win a ball game.
5 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning for Louisville. Dan McDonald had given that impassioned speech in the dugout 2 innings ago. Told his team 4 innings left, potentially in your season.
Lock in and give me your best effort. Give me what you got. Focus has to be at a high level, and it has been. And that's the beauty of coaching, is knowing the right buttons to push and when to push those buttons. Dan McDonald's been around a long time.
His teams met opening weekend in Arlington, Texas. Louisville won 13-1. They had a 5-run 8th inning in that game. They've got a 5-run 8th inning 4 months later at the Men's College World Series. It all started with Jake Monroe. (2-2). Backside base hit. Matt Klein in the left. More to the plate. Breifogel's throw is not in time. Klein is thrown out at second, but it's a 6-run bottom of the 8th inning for Louisville to flip this game and maybe save their season. Dan McDonald was fiery with his Louisville team that worked so hard to rise from the valley of the last few years and get back to Omaha. He gave them an impassioned speech before the bottom of the 6th. And 2 innings later, Zion Rose and company deliver. And now we go to the 9th. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8. Top 9 here in Omaha. This is win or go home. If you're just joining us, Arizona led throughout, but Louisville just put up 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Another game coming tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN2, Coastal Carolina and Oregon State. With Ben McDonald and Danny Wexelman and our entire crew, Mike Monaco with you for a game that has changed so suddenly. And now it's up to 9-1-2 for Easton Breifogel to begin against Tucker Biven. This Arizona team got back here to the Men's College World Series and now down 5. Chip Hill told us this morning we felt like it was our year to get here. Felt like they had built things up. And a heartbreaking look for Tony Pluta. Bouncer from Breifogel. Davis spins, fires off the mid of Biven. Breifogel is on to begin the 9th inning.
Was Ted Davis maybe a little bit too aggressive right there? Because Neighbors, the second baseman, is there. Like, he is right behind him. You see where Neighbors is right there? That would have been a lot easier play for Neighbors, I should say, right there. But maybe Ted Davis a little bit too aggressive going to get that ball.
He's had some real good plays over there, so you can understand trying to make another. Again, this is one of the stud arms for Louisville. Tucker Biven trying to close it out. Now against the leadoff man, Brendan Summerhill. Strike 1 to start. To the right fielder, projected as a first-round pick, according to our Kylie McDaniel. 0 for 4, though, in this one. Strikeout, line out, strikeout looking, ground out to second. This one popped up behind the plate. Matt Klein over toward the railing, makes the catch, and there's one away.
The story for me for this one is not just about Louisville's offense and putting up 6 runs. It's also about Louisville's relief pitching. And I tell you what, Daniel Levitch and Biven have come in, and they're working on 5 1/3. Right at 5 innings of scoreless baseball. They gave their offense a chance to climb back in this one. Everly started. He gives up 3 runs in 3 2/3. Daniel Levitch comes in, starts stacking up zeros. Biven right behind him.
And Tony Pluta forced to watch. Aaron Walton in the 2 spot. Dan McDonnell in the meantime, 2 outs away from staying alive and getting 2 more days in Omaha, Nebraska. Boy, it is so tough to come out of the losers bracket. And Louisville with an improbable late inning surge for the 2nd time.
Yeah, when you get to look, I mean, you got to think small picture. You can't think big picture and how many games we have to win. It's just 1 day at a time, 1 win at a time. That's all your focus is.
And should they hang on here, get the win, it's a question for another day, but they've used their 3 best starters already.
But that's what happens when you get in the losers bracket, right? You're going to have guys that come in that maybe haven't had significant roles in high leverage situations for you, and it's time to step them up.
Pull side single into left for Aaron Walton. Puts 2 aboard. So Arizona not done yet, and they got Mason White coming up here.
If you're waiting on the Wildcats to quit, they ain't no quitting this bunch.
Tucson native, 3rd generation Wildcat, Mason White. Super talented. Chip Hale was saying to us earlier today, a kid who was under-recruited, committed right when Chip Hale came to see him. One of the all-time home run hitters in Wildcats history. Grew up adoring some of the greats to play for Arizona. Mason was telling us J.J. Matijevic was his favorite. That's why he's got the leg kick.
You don't see many guys at the collegiate level or at the big league level anymore with big high leg kicks. The velocities that guys are creating now, a lot of guys have gotten away, kind of going to a toe tap, if you will.
Cut and a miss from Mason, who's got Dad Ben, grandfather Tim here watching as well with the family.
Yeah, Mason White, maybe a little bit undersized, but I tell you what, there's some serious juice in that bat. 20 long balls on the year, 73 RBIs.
Bivens, 0-2 will have to wait. Yeah, we were looking at MLB draft rankings pregame. He's top 150 according to MLB.com.
Yeah, I put him in, what, 5th, 6th round, somewhere in that ballpark. He'll get a chance at the next level, no doubt about it.
White strikes out, and there's 2 away.
Tucker vibing, huh? Big league breaking ball right there. So where do you want to get? When you get 2 strikes on a hitter, something that starts in the zone as it travels that 60 feet 6 inches, work it right out. He executed that perfectly. Arizona down to their final out.
And your heart breaks for Tony Pluta. Man, he was such an impressive kid to chat with the other day. Got a 36 on his ACT, aerospace engineering kid with a 3.91 GPA. Nothing to hang your hat on, Tony, man. You were special this season. It's up to Adonis Guzman for Arizona. Cleanup man with 2 on and 2 out in the 9th inning. Just off 2-0. Not sure quite where that missed. Combined Neighbors delivered 4 hits out of the 9th spot. First Louisville player with 4 hits in a game here in Omaha, ever. Four unearned runs for Louisville in the bottom of the 8th inning, part of a 6-run frame. 2-1. Guzman pops it up into center at Lucas Moore. And a Cards comeback completes.
Man, what a game. Felt like Arizona had it on cruise control, but Louisville had other ideas. The 6th spot, and we talked about, they were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position going into the 8th inning, and they get 4 big base hits with runners in scoring position. And again, I'm going to talk about the relievers for Louisville. 5 1/3 shutout baseball, and that's the reason why Louisville was able to come back and win this ball game.
Back in Omaha for the first time since 2019, and their first win since 6 years ago as well. In Omaha comes today in grand fashion with a 6 spot in the bottom of the 8th inning to stay alive and get to Tuesday afternoon against whoever loses tonight between Coastal Carolina and Oregon State. Hats off to Arizona on a wonderful season, 44 wins. They got back to Omaha as well. But they are the first team out, and we are down to 7 at the Men's College World Series. Still to come tonight, 7 Eastern, ESPN2, Coastal Carolina and Oregon State here in Bracket 1. And on the other side, those 4 teams in action tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern here on ESPN, Murray State and Arkansas in an elimination game. And then at night, UCLA and LSU. Man, that was something. They did it in so many different ways offensively in that bottom of the 8th inning to hang a half dozen.
Yeah, and we talked about Louisville in the NCAA tournament, struggling offensively a little bit, having some trouble, and I give Dan McDonald a lot of credit. He changed his lineup up big time for this ball game right here. He changed it up, and they end up putting an 8 spot on the scoreboard.
Kamayu Neighbors had 4 hits out of the 9 spot. He is an impressive young man, and he's with Danny Wexelman.
Mike, thank you so much. In your own words, describe that comeback in the bottom of the 8th.
Expected. That's what we've done all year. So
why?
That's the team that we are. Even in the fall when we did inter squads, no matter what team you were on, if you were down bottom innings, it seemed like we'd always come back. So it's just what's expected from this team. We think we're the best late 3-inning team in the nation. So, and I think we're proving that. Dan
McDonald gave a very impassioned speech in the dugout. What did he say?
Figure it out. Let's like I said, I think we're the best offense in the nation. Our pitchers, if they fill up the zone, we have a chance to beat anybody in the nation. So he expects more from us, just like we expect more from each other. So he just said, let's go. It's time.
For you, bus rides to Compton, to here in Omaha, Nebraska, how gratifying is this journey?
I just thank God, my family. It's an honor. It really is. Just to be out here, play hard, play for my family, play for the Lord, and play for my boys out on the field.
Go celebrate. Congratulations.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Mike.
Kid had 1 Division II offer once upon a time, Danny, and he gets the job done in a crazy comeback, and yeah, pretty good team the last 3 innings. Hats off to Arizona on a wonderful season that ends, unfortunately, with sadness in Omaha. Still to come, we've got more action. 7 Eastern, ESPN2, Coastal and Oregon State. But coming up next, baseball tonight, Kevin Connors and Tim Kirkjian. For Ben McDonald, Danny Wexelman, and our whole crew, I'm Mike Monaco saying thanks for joining us here in Omaha at the Men's College World Series.